One Mind Productions.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Psycho Worldwide in association with One Mind Entertainment proudly brings you two of the greatest podcast hosts in the world. I am Crazy Kevin, and Dan Jones is on his way. He had to take care of some Two Fat Guy podcast business, but my brother will be here shortly, so don't fret. He will be here to hold it down like he does every week. So, we are going to get into this show. Look, y'all already know we talked about the seasons. We talked about WrestleMania. We talking about some of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history that to us personally. All right, so we have our own opinion on this, so don't come for us if we say something that you don't like, but that's what we do, okay? So, so you're going to get it. You know what? I'm just tired of people just showing up unannounced. Like, who's at my door? Who is at my door, man? Like, oh, what it do, Najee, aka Dan Clark? Welcome, my brother. I guess you had to swing by because we'll be talking about WrestleMania, right?
Yes, sir. You know, always got to come in for a conversation about the WM, the WrestleManias.
All right, and welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Shout out to Courtney, who's tuning in right now live and watching us.
Courtney.
Watching us right now. So, my brother, welcome. I'm glad you had time to stop by real quick, hang out with us. You know it's WrestleMania season, right?
Absolutely.
And WrestleMania has had some great moments throughout the years. Last week we talked about the golden era, right? And we talked about the new generation era. So we're gonna be getting into the last three known eras, and we're excluding the Paul Levesque era as of right now, but we are going to talk about 39 and 40, but because they still fresh, they haven't been cemented yet like the other eras have been.
In actuality, technically Paul Levesque is still involved in, to me, one of my top 5 greatest WrestleMania situations. Him and Taker running it back to back.
Oh, we're going to talk about that, bro. We're going to get into that. Hey, Ms. Voorhees, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Missed you. And Courtney say, hey, fellas, thank you, Courtney. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with two fat guys tonight. And technically, it's still two fat guys because Naeem's a fat guy honoree.
Definitely still chunky over here. We good.
To the show. So here we are. But why? And Chris just signed in. Moderator just signed in. So shout out to the moderator and Chris for signing in. Thank you for coming on, hanging out with us. So we are going to get into this. I'm trying to fluff some time here, but I don't know when Dan is going to get here. So we're going to get into the show.
Wanted the fluff. I can give you a story. You know how much love I get for this shirt in my meat slapping university shirt.
Yeah, look.
Especially being around
speaking
those of a thicker proportion.
I got you, bro. Speaking of meat slapping, I need y'all who haven't been on TikTok lately and go to our TikTok page and check out the new uploads that Dan and I did this weekend. Hilarious stuff, some great promo stuff going on. It's Two Fat Guys Podcast 99 on TikTok. So it's Two Fat Podcast 99. So go check that out on TikTok. You know, not now.
Dad almost had me about to go into the trunk. I thought we had real beef. Like, what's up?
Yeah, now I don't need you to go in the trunk. It was all shoot. It was all shoot promos, but it's great though.
It took me a minute. I had to sit. I was sitting like, all right, we got some things we might take care of. And then when you leaned in, I'm like, you get the squinty eyes. I'm like, hey, this sounds like a shoot now. All right.
And you know me, man. I'm too old to be on that. I'm having beef with people on social media. Like we don't do world stars no more, man.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah, we too old for that.
Coming out has got to be for a purpose.
So, oh yeah, Chris saw the promo. Y'all got to see Chris's comment. You got to see the comment because my homegirl and I only black woman can do this. Like she was like, who? She's like, who? We gotta go. Up. Like, you know what I mean? I'm paraphrasing, but I ain't know you can clap. I ain't know you can black girl clap in the comment, but I learned today. Yo, shout out to Marquise. Shout out to Marquise, provider of wrestling joint. Oh my God, I'll always forget your show name, bro, because I be trying to make fun of it because you be like, use real country with the name. But what's good with you, bro? So definitely, yeah, I wish I could have got a hold of you because this is right up your alley, but I know you're going to be commenting and everything because we're talking about WrestleMania moments tonight and we're going to be breaking down our favorite moments from WrestleMania of past, last three eras, which is going to be Attitude, Ruthless, and PG era. So we're going to get into this now. We're going to talk about the Attitude Era, which took place from the mid-1990s to the early 2000s. And so, Wrestling Talk Radio, that's what it is. Wrestling Talk Radio. Check out Marquise's joint. It just hit me. Yo, you literally put it in the comment as I just said it. Like, he literally just put it in the comment as I was saying it. I knew it was going to come to me. I ain't trying to slide on you, bro. So please forgive your brother.
Be out in the streets when you start to forget things.
Please forgive your brother, bro. Yeah, Wrestling Talk Radio on Facebook and YouTube. So go check our boy out. So we are going to get into this. I'm going to put it up here so everybody can see it. I'm gonna give you some promo time right there. Wrestling Talk Radio, and that way people can go and check out your stuff. Really good, and definitely follow him on Instagram because he does something that I think is very miraculous. And I say this every time. He recaps the shows brilliantly in slideshow form. Like you read it, slide. Oh wow! And so if you just need to catch the highlights, that is the guy to do it.
If you don't want to watch the whole thing, the whole 3 hours,
right?
The Cliff Notes,
right? If you I like AEW, I just can't sit through it. That's the guy right there. He does all of them, and he does it perfectly. So shout out to bro for that. All right, Chris, calm down. She's like Attitude Era all day. We haven't even really gotten into the first match yet or the first show, and And Courtney is like, Cookie is my nickname, by the way. Reference not background, LOL. Yeah, well, we at one point in time, I don't know about
Yeah, no, we gonna stay on task today. So.
Yeah. I don't know if your missus around. I ain't trying to get you in trouble. So
man, I'm grown. You say what you need to say, sir.
Oh, well now it was known as the Cookie Monster. You know what I mean?
let it be known. Let it be known.
I mean, it was the reason why this man had R. Kelly's Cookie Monster as his ringtone. I remember them days at Global.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anyway, back to WrestleMania.
Back to WrestleMania shows. Yes, sir. Here we go. So, yo, use your key, man. Like, use your key. You got a whole key. Why you trying to ring the doorbell? Use your key.
Let him in.
Why you look like you trying to climb through the window? There you. All right, come on to the left, a little bit to the left. All right,
Oh,
there you go.
He said,
There you go.
Get your angles right. Get your angles right.
oh.
What up, Danimus? Maximus, Big
What up?
Dan is now in the building. I don't know why you ain't
Yeah.
you trying to creep through the back door, looking East Baltimore is down at Douglas Projects. Stop doing that, bro.
Yeah. Chilling. What's good, man?
Well, you
What up,
must
my
be
man?
funny.
Dick Clark, what it is?
What up, bro? What's happening?
Ain't I'm chilling. What's going on tonight?
So you already know what it is, bro. We are talking about WrestleMania moments already, and this chat is already blowing up. So I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna put this up here just because it's Miss Voorhees.
Well, honestly, I'm gonna give you an honest answer. I'm a shortbread person myself. I like the shortbreads. I can do an Oreo, but technically, I prefer to eat whatever cookies are available, and this one tastes good.
So we're going to talk about the Attitude Era, and we're going to jump off.
I'm a lot of you, bro. I'm a fudge chocolate chip guy myself.
I mean, I can go for chocolate, but I like vanilla wafers.
You know what I mean? I can do vanilla wafers, but I got to go back to my Wakanda Forever chocolate.
Your Wakanda Forever? Okay.
Yeah.
I was, still around Girl Scout time. Them boxes was flying up the shelves, and now there's poison in them.
Hey, nah, I don't want no Thin Mints.
No Thin Mints.
No Thin Mints.
I don't want no Thin Mints.
Samoa though. I'll take a Samoa.
I mean, like chocolate chunks.
Yes. I like my cookies thick. I got to choke.
I don't want no Thin Mints.
Yeah, no. All right, moving on. Yo, so we're going to be talking about the
I need to be difficult to laying down and dying.
Yo, we're going to be talking about Attitude Era WrestleManias, 1990s to the early 2000s, mid 1990s, excuse me, to the early 2000s. And I just realized I did not have a closing parentheses on this thing. This is crazy. It looked like I never went to high school and just took simple English classes. What am I doing with my life? So let's talk about WrestleMania X. Let's talk about WrestleMania X.
Oh, boy, Jesus.
So I'm gonna give you
hands down.
I'm gonna give you my matches first. Then we're gonna just go around. All right. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. That was an iconic brother versus brother. Come on now, you can't hate on that.
I was wondering, didn't I mentioned this last show? Y'all told me hold on. That was a great freaking match.
It was. It was a really
That's
great
what
match.
Owen Hart won, right?
Yeah.
Owen Hart won that, right?
You had to put a little brother over.
Yeah.
And one with a simple joint too. It was a simple pin.
It was a roll up.
It was crazy. First of all, the whole feud was crazy, but it was very well done because you kind of felt like it was some real tension, like real feelings that Owen felt about being in Bret's shadow.
And it was just big brother move. That's all.
Now I feel like, hey, if I gotta try not to read his comments on the bottom and focus on my topic. But yes, you felt the Owen tension. You felt the hate that man had for his brother. And Owen, had he not died, I think would have been a bigger star than his brother. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You know what? I'm inclined to agree with you on that. I feel like Owen would have been a bigger star. Why look like you wearing two watches? No, that's a bracelet. Never mind.
No, I took out the face because it was broke, and I put the picture of my mother and my father when I first was born. They hold the picture of me when I came out of the hospital.
That's what's up. No, it was just the way you was holding. Looked like you was flexing, like you got two watches on, like East Coast, like East Coast and LA time. You know what I mean?
Call him Danny 2-time.
You feel me? Danny 2-time.
Danny 2-time.
And you'll see him in a couple weeks.
Yo, oh yeah, we gotta talk before you dip off after the show because we gotta, yeah. But so Owen was a great start to that list. Marquise says Razor versus Shawn Michaels in the ladder match for the Intercontinental title. My favorite WrestleMania match of all time. And I don't know why I didn't put that on my list, and it wasn't on purpose, but that match. I don't know if you guys watched WWE Rivals on A&E.
Yeah.
Talked about that match last week, and that match set the standards for ladder matches. Now, I know Marquise knows this, but for those who don't know, that wasn't the first ladder match because they had them way back when, but that was the first public televised ladder match. So, but Shawn and Razor set the standard for what ladder matches to become. And watching that, the Rivals last week, it really made me think like it's because of them that we got the Hardy Boys and those TLC matches from the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys. Those
Shawn and Razor walk, so them niggas can crawl. So them niggas
right.
can run. So they walk.
The thing about them matches was that match was so technical for a ladder match. You didn't even, honestly, I had to agree with Marquise because that was my favorite match. You remember last week I mentioned that match, you was like, no, we're too early.
Right.
That's the
because
only
there have been better matches since then. But
there's been better matches, but that's the match you look at it and be like, yo, after watching that, and that had to be the first match on WrestleMania 10 card.
So let me ask you this. Do you think, and anybody can answer this, the chat, you guys, do you think that's the match that set the standard for Shawn Michaels to become Mr. WrestleMania?
Nah.
No.
Okay.
I think it set the standard for non-traditional wrestling matches at WrestleMania. Because they had the Roddy Piper boxing thing, and that was kind of a novelty thing. But this ladder match kind of gave you, we can do more than just have regular wrestling matches. And on top of that, it was now you can get ladder matches galore in their promotion and everybody else's promotion, which kind of spawned the ECW and all other kind of stuff. But nonetheless, I don't think Shawn's match that put him in being Mr. WrestleMania was that Iron Man Bret Hart jump.
And for some reason,
match
I don't know why I didn't put that on my list. I don't know why I didn't put that on my list.
I'm sorry. You said you don't have that on your list?
I was tripping. No, I was tripping. Marquis says, funny thing is their second ladder match at SummerSlam 95, they weren't allowed to use the ladder. They were not allowed to use it as a weapon. Never knew that until I watched the Rivals last week. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. You could tell it the match. People got upset. Remember, they were booing during the match.
Yeah. Yeah, because like now knowing why is like it. Yeah. You took the luster out of it.
Yeah, you don't give me carpet and then come back and give me roses and flowers afterwards. Next time, no, I don't do that.
Like that's like having a Hell in a Cell match and not sending somebody through the roof of it.
But having a Hell in a Cell with no cage.
Hell in a Cell match where there was no violence really other than the toolbox.
Right.
It was red. Nobody cared about it. It was horrible. But go ahead, Dan. You was about to say something.
Yeah, back to that match, the Iron Man match. You got to think about that match was so iconic that they sold pieces of the match.
Yeah.
Like, bro, is that Cookie Monster in the background, bro?
Yeah, that's where the whole cookie conversation came from. We'll catch you up later. We'll catch you up later. All right.
Look at it's done blue behind him, bro. What's good? Yeah. But yeah, that match, like they auctioned off. You bought the ticket for front row. You automatically got a piece of that mat, a 2-inch square piece of that mat for the Iron Man match. That's crazy.
Right.
I think that was the first Iron Man, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was the first Iron Man match.
First one in WWE, I think. Ric Flair and them used to do hour matches forever. So
yeah, but I don't think they did it to where it was
like a main situation.
Yeah, it was like about how many pinfalls that you got. Because remember, the Iron Man match was set up by how many pinfalls you can get within that 60-minute time. And I always remember that ending. And what WrestleMania was that?
12.
All right, so let's jump into 12 then, because did y'all have anything for WrestleMania X other than the Bret Hart, Owen Hart, and Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon ladder match?
Nothing I can remember.
I thought the Bret Hart match with Stone Cold was in 10.
That was
or was that 13?
That was 13.
Oh yeah, because we jumped ahead. I was like, we talked about that.
Side note. Before we go to 12, hey, now I gotta ask you a question, bro.
Go ahead.
I know you would know because I know Kev ain't big on the NXT like that. While we were back then, the gold era.
Okay.
So don't ask him this question. Don't ask him this question. Don't do it.
No.
It's going to take us completely off topic. Don't do it.
No, it still deal with the topic.
It don't. I know it. Go ahead. Go ahead, because it's going to take us off topic. And remember, we get yelled at every time we go off topic. I'm trying to get yelled at tonight.
Try to stay on task.
So if that's the case, the Iron Man match between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, or the Iron Man match, the 3 stages of hell between Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole.
See,
which one?
That's not fair, yo. That's a whole nother podcast, yo. That's
it's a sub-question about the current match we're talking about. And the short answer to that would be Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole.
It's just because we brought this matchup and William Regal said it himself. He's like, look, if I could compare any match to Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole, it had to be the Riz Ramon and Shawn Michaels match.
Right.
Both technical, just that one had more layers than the other, and their storyline was met so deep. So my thing was, do we see anybody? Oh yeah, we go another topic. Go ahead.
Put a pin in it. Just put a pin in it. We'll come back to the end. We got if you have time and time permits, we'll circle back.
Yeah. All right. Let's just say right here. Okay. So WrestleMania 12, we jumped into WrestleMania 12, and we talked about the Iron Man match, which is the most iconic, to me, one of the most iconic matches during that era, because the sudden death was beautiful. I think it was that moment where you can honestly say Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart, because you're arguing with the ref about, oh no, like the match is a draw. Like, no, they call sudden death, and you want to argue with the ref. And Shawn Michaels at the last minute does the most awesome super kick and falls into the pin. And Shawn Michaels sells the super kick fall into the pin better than anybody. I feel like at his 70-year-old ass, he can do it now.
See, the thing with Shawn was you didn't understand that match unless you knew the rival.
Yeah.
And that rival started when they was the Rockers. Like there was a deep
Hart Foundation, right?
Yeah, and there was a deep thing because Bret Hart, it's the passing of the torch.
But
your old
Bret Hart
technical
really
style of wrestling. You didn't like him because
he didn't feel Shawn was ready for that. He was too immature.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, if the man could put on the show like everybody else, he got to swim.
But you also Bret wasn't ready to let him swim. Crazy high back then.
Yeah, I mean they was up there with the Dallas Cowboys. But hey.
Now, granted, most of the wrestlers either drank or got high, but some of them knew how to function and maintain it and still remain professional. Shawn, because you know Hunter even said this a few times, was just ass. He ain't get fucked. And
it was a few times Hunter was like, if that wasn't my friend, he was like, it's been a few times he wanted to beat the crap out of Shawn. But he also understood that wasn't who Shawn was.
Right. And he dealing with somebody like Bret who's a straight shooter. This is all I know, sir. I've been knowing wrestling since I was a child. You're supposed to conduct yourself in this mannerism.
Yeah, but I also feel like Bret Hart also thought he was better than other people.
Of course, because he was.
No, I mean like ego-wise. Like, I come from the dungeon.
He was. Yes,
you can't come nothing.
You can't come from there and not think you better than everybody else. Absolutely.
Yeah,
anybody that came from that dungeon was better than everybody. That's including Jericho. That's including Edge. These are Hall of Famers, bro.
But Benoit,
exactly.
We're not going to talk about the dungeon, not mention Benoit. I'd look.
Yeah, and Benoit. Both sides of Benoit.
I Benoit did what he did, but I still, as a wrestler, he's in my top 10.
Best way I could put it is the way Paul Heyman did it at a roundtable interview type thing. He was like, Chris Benoit, best top 10 wrestlers. As a person, complete dick. Because of what he did. So
and I still don't believe he did it. I don't care what nobody say. I think Kevin Sullivan did that shit.
what he's accused of doing. Let's do that. But I've learned to separate Chris Benoit, the wrestler, from Chris Benoit, the man, and I'm gonna always be a fan of the wrestler because that's the man.
We like the Wolverine,
right? The Rabbit Wolverine. All right. So what other matches from WrestleMania 12 do you guys like, or was that just the one?
Wasn't that the Diesel and Sid Vicious?
Well, we can find out. Let's see.
I think Diesel had a match on that card.
I felt like if Diesel, I wasn't a big Diesel fan when it came to his wrestling.
I mean, everybody was doing the boot.
Right. He had a lot of moveset.
Yeah, the two moves of terror, the boot and the powerbomb.
Do you know what though? It's funny you say that because I give Damian Priest credit because he didn't get stuck in that vortex of being a tall guy with just a choke slam and a big boot.
How can we forget that? The backyard, the backyard Hollywood backlot brawl.
Oh yeah.
When we talking about that last week?
No, we did not.
We mentioned it, but that was
we mentioned it. But I was like, that wasn't the era. That was Attitude Era, because Piper actually messed his hand up.
So wait, this says the Ultimate Warrior versus the original Triple H.
Hunter
You know what?
Yeah.
I saw that. I didn't even like. So here's the thing.
That wasn't a match.
When I looked at the card, because when I looked at all these cards and pulling up the research, it was a lot of matches. I went, they wasn't memorable to me. You see what I'm saying? So like Ultimate Warrior versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Nobody remember that. He don't even probably remember.
No, it was Undertaker versus Diesel, wasn't it?
Is that the one where
Diesel versus the Undertaker?
Yeah.
Diesel was in his casket or something like that. He made him look at himself.
Yeah. WrestleMania 12, Diesel versus Undertaker.
But even that match was because Diesel can't really wrestle like that.
Most of the Undertaker's WrestleMania reign was until he got up in the age.
Look who he had to go against.
So here's the reality: Undertaker's WrestleMania matches was until they started mentioning the streak, because now you gave the matches life.
True.
Once they started mentioning, Undertaker hasn't lost a match now, and now it gave it his own life. Even Taker said that. Taker was like, "Oh, okay, so now that's what we're doing. That's the gimmick we're gonna do for me come WrestleMania." And we're gonna get into some of these WrestleMania moments with him against like Edge.
That's on my list. That's on my list too.
You mentioned the word streak. They kind of tagging Bianca with that title now.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that they actually let her keep it. I'm actually hoping they let her rock with it for a little while.
Yeah, she's undefeated at WrestleMania right now.
Which means
Bianca?
Yeah.
We should have a new Women's World Champion if y'all keep that stigma going.
Right, that she hasn't, and plus she needs to win because this is going to keep the storyline between her, Jade, and Naomi going. Because now you have something to gravitate to.
They letting the hood at WrestleMania this year.
So are we done with the
12? Yeah, 12.
12. All right.
Yeah.
So let's get into WrestleMania 13, which is the year 1997. This is when Bret Hart defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin via referee stoppage. There was a no DQ match. And Ken Shamrock, I don't know where the hell he's at, was the special guest referee. And this match to me is iconic because Stone Cold, blood leaking from the face, refused to tap.
That's the one we used for the promo.
Yeah. He refused to tap in that match, and that's what made that match stick out to me. Like, that match was great. That match was awesome. Like,
I could be honest with you, that's the only match that's memorable off that whole card.
Nah, I also went with Undertaker versus Sid Vicious, and that was a no DQ match for the WWF.
First of all, he wasn't Sid Vicious then. He was Psycho Sid.
Psycho Sid, excuse me.
Psycho Sid.
Psycho Sid. I apologize.
My paper
does say Psycho Sid. So just to let you know, paper do say Psycho Sid. All right.
So y'all didn't like the Ahmed Johnson versus the Nation of Domination?
I wasn't an Ahmed Johnson fan, yo.
I was a Legion of Doom fan.
Look, even you laughed at that, like, yo, when I saw that. When I saw that, I laughed because I remember that match and I remember Ahmed Johnson match, and I was just like,
I just felt like Ahmed was just like a big angry black dude. Yo. That's all I saw. A big sweaty angry black dude.
A angry, oily black dude, yo.
Right.
Looking like Bobby Lashley's older brother.
Father, actually. Older uncle. Courtney said Stone Cold was so stubborn. He was like, I will pass out before I tap out. Facts. He did.
That's just something, since we're talking about Stone Cold, that may be an unpopular opinion.
You and these unpopular opinions, but go ahead, sir.
I do, because I have a lot of them. Stone Cold's overrated.
You're not the only one that said that.
Overrated. He's a sum of good moments that just happened to him that kind of pushed him along.
I think he was
he could wrestle.
He had to be that wrestler that everybody did like they did with John Cena. He can wrestle, but his career only let him do like 6 moves.
Right. He can, like, when his WCW days, he could wrestle. He definitely could wrestle. Not taking nothing away from him skill wise. But Stone Cold, the character, you cut a promo on Jake the Snake, who was recovering alcoholic and like 80 years old. You had the match with Bret Hart where you didn't tap out and you passed out while you were bleeding. Because look what they did with Becky Lynch when she had blood running from her face. It made her look like she was this awesome superstar.
That's what they compared her to, Stone Cold.
But so here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I'm gonna partially agree with you, but I play devil's advocate.
Go shower, smack the shop, right?
I'm sorry, what?
Not you, talking to Danny. I'm not gonna tell you to go shower. You're a grown man.
No, it was the way you said it. You sound like an evil villain just now. Go shower before I kill you. I'm like, I don't.
You had my friend up here laughing, just letting them know.
So the Jake the Snake situation with Stone Cold. You gotta remember, Stone Cold went to the hospital to get stitches put into his face or to the back of his head or whatever. He had to get stitches. And then Yo comes back. Okay, now I disappeared for a second. Then he comes back, not knowing who won the thing with Jake the Snake match, and then he gets filled in on that. And the next thing you know, it's Stone Cold Austin 316 says. You got to give him credit for that. He made that up on the fly. Like,
he's the best freestyle person ever when it comes to that.
Oh yeah. So, and then like you said, and I think also this is my thing. I know y'all said Bret Hart had a right to have the attitude that he had. And I'm always going to disagree with you on that level because he still had issue with Stone Cold. Like, I felt like Bret Hart always had issues with people who didn't meet his standard.
Bret Hart was selfish. He was. In order to stay on top, you didn't want to pass the torch.
No,
you was selfish. Everybody he knew that if somebody else had that torch, your time was almost up. You had to work from the bottom again. He just felt as though his skill set was higher than everybody else's, and he was a fighter. Should always be the brawler, and if a brawler wins, something is wrong with that picture.
Right?
Because in his mind, think about it. Tyson should never beat. He should never beat Mayweather. Because Tyson's a brawler. In his mind, he should never beat Mayweather. But that one punch catch you is the right.
Right.
Yeah. Brawler's going to win. That's the mind frame that Bret Hart had. I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter.
Yeah, but see, and that's the thing, because Bret Hart wants to be out wrestled. Like, he wants to have wrestling matches. And you can't always have wrestling matches. Like, you're supposed to still telling the story. And you being from the lineage that you're from, you should know this. But, we ain't going to keep beating the dead horse.
All I'm going to say is Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect was the best match.
Oh, I forgot about that.
For which?
Which
WrestleMania?
That wasn't a WrestleMania. I think that was like a SummerSlam.
I was about to say, that's a SummerSlam.
That's a SummerSlam, but that was probably the best historical match that I can think of. From that era, at least in that time frame.
All right, so Courtney just chimed in and said Bret Hart felt like everything should have been given to him. He thought that even though he was leaving, he should still be on top. And that's absolute truth. Like, you can't be the top guy leaving the company. And unfortunately, the screw job, I get it. I always understood, especially when I got older and I figured out what was going on. And at that time that was going on, like, it made sense for Vince to do what Vince did. And I will never disagree with him.
He wanted to lay the belt down at a house show, basically, but now I'm not going to do another pay-per-view. Sir, that's not how we do things,
right?
bro.
You want it, and because it was Shawn, like, you agreed for it to go down, but on your terms.
Right.
Right.
You can't make terms when you're leaving. We offered you money. You didn't want it. WCW's giving you more money. We're not going to placate to you. We're not going to give you what you want. You leaving us for the competition. No.
So basically, you was the crybaby.
Yeah. That's why Triple H said he don't want to do business. We make him do business. So.
Which means from the start, Triple H has been poised to be the man he is today since then.
Yeah. And that was another thing, because I remember when all that took place, I saw a documentary or something about that whole situation. And matter of fact, it was a WWE documentary when they talked about it. And somebody asked the question, how much pull did Triple H have back then for him to be included on that conversation?
Which,
you remember Brett was arguing with him.
Right. If you add that on to the punishment he got when Diesel and them left, and why his punishment was so severe, that might be because he was brought in, he was in the inner circle. And since we can't punish our champion, you won't have to catch the heat for it.
Right.
You remember that thing? It was like Bret Hart went up to Triple H, was like, I'm not even talking to you. And Triple H was like, hold up, bro.
So, Marquise, I think you misspelled. I know what you're trying to say, sir. I think you
no. You need one more asterisk. That's it.
No, prick. He's a prick.
No, but then you wouldn't put an asterisk in prick. Turn the P upside down.
That'll be a D.
I think that's what he was trying to write. I don't know how, because the P and the D are on two different levels on the keyboard. But I think I get what you're trying to imply here, sir.
I thought he meant prick, but it's okay.
Yeah, I thought he meant prick too, but you wouldn't edit the word prick.
Would you guys like to hear something sad? We're up to WrestleMania 12, and you guys' road to WrestleMania great moments. We're about to go to 13, and not one women's match has been mentioned yet.
WrestleMania 13?
I'm just saying, you're about to go to 13, so I'll talk about 13. You talked 1 through 12 thus far,
and
I don't recall hearing anything about a women's match.
We won't mention women's match was 17, bro.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I saw the women's matches and on the cards, and I don't remember them things. There was like even tag team matches. I think Jackie had a WrestleMania match.
Jackie, Brian Panty.
Like,
so we don't put the Wendy Richter.
Oh, he said he put. I said what I said. LOL, prick. LOL. Then I don't know why you put the asterisk in there, sir.
We're not gonna put the Rocket, the Fabulous Moolah, whoever, Captain Lou Albano. We're not gonna throw none of them in there.
Yo, I'm starting to think Courtney is a 100% wrestling fan, bro.
She is.
Right.
She grew up watching wrestling with her father. It made me
these paragraphs are everything.
Shit, she can be winded. It made me mad when
I'm laughing, bro.
It made me mad that he wanted to lay everything at Shawn Michaels' door. Vince had his hand in it as well. So, do I blame Vince for screwing him? No. Should I have let Shawn take all of the heat? No. You two, hey, it's Vince McMahon. What? Why two? You two?
She's saying basically Vince McMahon let it be all on Shawn until I guess he decided to cop to it.
Right.
Shawn act like he ain't know nothing about it. Triple H is, if you go back and look at them documentary, you can see that Triple H face the whole time. He's like, it's what it is, bro.
Triple H knew. He knew.
He's the one said it.
Right.
Nobody else thought about it. He's the one that suggested it.
Right. My man was like, if you don't want to do business, we make them do business.
We make them do business.
Right. You do what's best for the company, not what's best for you. I'd have rolled up the tights to call it a day.
Are we done with 13?
We are done with 13.
Yeah, we're done. Bro.
All right. WrestleMania 14. I'm going with I got quite a few. for this one. So just roll with me for a second here. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeats Shawn Michaels for the WWF at the time WWF Championship with Mike Tyson as a special guest ring enforcer. That did not go the way we thought that was going to go. I feel like that's the only match on that card, in my opinion. Please be clear, people. My opinion that stood out.
Oh, are we forgetting? I know this is 2 WrestleManias behind, but it just dawned on. Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yes, we're forgetting that. Absolutely, we are.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Even as a kid, I didn't like celebrity matches, and I understood why Bam Bam Bigelow was pissed because he lost to Lawrence Taylor. And I always feel like whenever I see a celebrity gets over on a wrestler, I get it. It's the business. It's part of the business. I, as a fan, don't like it. Like Kevin Federline beat John Cena. Kevin Federline beat John Cena. Like,
but as a company man, you signed up for that. Like you because if you don't got no WrestleMania match, you're volunteering yourself for this situation because hey, it's better than not being on the card at all.
And I get that, and I like I said, I understand why it's done. That don't mean I gotta like it.
But nobody wants to remember Lawrence. First of all, it took like 10 kilos of cocaine to even get Lawrence to perform. Nobody wants to remember that. Not a single person. Not a single one of us. And this is coming from black people who always want black people to be on WrestleMania. We wanted to forget that. Absolutely.
Courtney said that match had me on the edge of my seat. When Mike Tyson turned on DX, my mouth dropped and I was pumped. One of my top favorite matches.
I love this lady.
I was kind of pissed. I'm not gonna lie. When Mike turned on Shawn, I was pissed. Because again,
first of all, that count was whack as hell. Because that was fast ass 3 count. All right, but
1, 2, 3.
Now that I'm older and it makes sense because Shawn was hurt, that's how they had to write him off. But still, I was pissed.
but even Stone Cold mentioned like later in life about that. He said he was cool. He didn't like the count either because it didn't give you the dramatic 3 count that you would probably get from a professional referee because they know like how the ending happened. You, especially when a referee takes a bump and there's always that 1, 2, 3. Like it's a dramatic.
3 days later.
Right.
3 days later.
Marquis said Taylor did a forearm from the top rope. That was enough to beat Bam Bam.
Come on, yo. Oh, now hold on.
That was there with Floyd Mayweather versus Big Show.
The Floyd Mayweather Big Show was a great finish because he had to use gold knuckles from somebody's chain to knock out Big Show. That was a great ending. May not be the best match, but it was a great ending.
Yo, first of all, the lead up to I didn't even put that on my WrestleMania list because I was just like whatever. But the lead up to that match was actually better than the match because when they had the initial meeting and Big Show, whatever reason, thought it would be funny, get down on one knee and get in front of Mayweather's face, and Mayweather, and they was like, "Yo, like Show's nose is leaking, his nose is broke and shit." And he's like, Show's like, he only hit me 1 time. He was like, nah, yo, he hit you like 7 times.
Hit you like 7, 8 times, yo. It was fast. Slow down the camera. Watch the slow mo.
And that's that moment when you realize you got to shoot him.
Yeah.
It's that moment you realize you got to shoot him, bro. You feel like 1 punch hit me 10 times. I'm losing by this qualification, bro.
Tossed him out the ring. I think he did that toss for real.
Yeah, he did.
And say this in all entirety, bro. I'm a man with pride. I get that, yes? I'm a big dude. I'm a man with pride. I love myself to death.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to lose to nobody in no furry shorts, bro.
No, yo.
Yo, it's not going down, bro. I'll pull a Bret Hart that day, bro. I'll pull a Bret Hart. It's not working.
Look at it, sir. It's the man who is already a world boxing champion. His hands are registered. He had to add knuckles to it. That's the only way it can be done.
About the furry shorts, bro. I don't care.
No, I'm not forgetting them. The chinchilla wrestling tights. No, I'm definitely not forgetting them.
I'm not doing that, bro.
He had on
You like a
100%
spider butt.
100%
You like a
alpaca.
spider butt. No, I'm not getting me wearing a spider butt to shorts, bro.
Yo, Marquis said when Mayweather hard, I was weak. Like,
take this dub out.
Like in that moment when he broke Big Show's nose, Big Show forgot that it was for play. Like he really wanted to hurt him. Paul Wright said it. Paul was like, for a moment, I forgot it was my job to play along. I was really about to go hurt him.
Well, nobody told your stupid ass to sit your face down into the.
Well, nobody told Mayweather to swing on the man either.
Look at the situation that just happened. Cody, you bring in a celebrity, you say, "Hey, I want you to deliver your best shot." Yo had his face on the mat and
Cody. Yes,
slap the taste out of him.
Slap the taste out of Cody, yo.
First of all, that wasn't even a slap. We all felt that. We all felt bad for Cody that day.
I don't know. I felt like Travis Scott forgot that Cody's middle name is Raheem. And
you ever notice that Cody Rhodes keep doing his promos to the left now? Because he can't hit out his head.
He was trying to get reparations. It was a reparation slap, yo. Just
listen, I said stay down.
He said Cody be home, like, huh?
I actually blame John Cena for that. Because Travis picked his head up to slap him. John Cena pushes his head back down, and Yo said, "Oh well, I'll just slap him here." Wow.
Right.
But he bear palm that man, bro. Whole bear palm, bro.
No, what I think Cena was trying to tell Travis not to hit him. And Travis took it upon himself to hit Cody Rhodes.
He's already lit. He's going in.
He was already a fiend.
I said, I want some more of that. Now, the only thing to make this right is for him to show up at this WrestleMania and he catch the hands from Cody.
Yeah, and he's going to cause either that or he's going to cause Jey Uso that belt.
Yeah, let's not do that. And we're going to talk about that when we get to the end of the show. When we get to the end of the show, we're going to talk about it. And I know next week is going to be prediction night or prediction for the is it next week? Yeah, next week. We got a show next week because 19 and 20, we're not going to be here because we're going to be watching Mania. So next week is the prediction show. And I
somebody called me CeeLo Green today.
Dude. Imagine me bald-headed with a full beard.
Now I can't unsee it. It's too late.
I was called Rick Ross by a complete stranger. Okay?
Touch something never touched before, seen something never seen before.
Okay. And it wasn't even like, hey, yo, you know, you kind of look like Rick Ross. I walked past the ninja and yo went, huh.
Because when you're a big dude and there's another famous big dude, you're every famous big dude that they can think of.
It took everything in me.
You're gonna be fun. You're gonna be Rick Ross.
It took everything in me not to put my hands on this person. Yo, this is a complete stranger. And I was ready to take it.
Chris.
I think she agrees. I think Chris agrees and said that you look like CeeLo Green, yo.
Bro, I'm literally in the store. I got the furniture and putting the sofa on the couch on the truck. And the customer was like, you know you look like I'm used to getting Big Worm. I'm used to that. And the dude, she was like, no, CeeLo Green. I was
what made her think that was okay to tell another human being, yo?
I was like, what? So me being a person that I am.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
This side said, go get it. And this side said, don't do it. Of course, it's hot. I'm already agitated. So me and Mr. Go Get It. We go get it. I told her some things, what she looked like. And then she got mad, got in the car, and drove off. Here's what it is.
So Courtney says, I need Cody. Nope, we're moving past it. I need Cody to beat them little braids off of Travis Scott. And like I said,
don't matter because he's a fiend.
Chris said, I mean, you do. So I don't know if she was referring to my Rick Ross comment or your CeeLo Green comment or both of them.
She said both.
So, are we done with 14?
Hold on, let me overlook my notes here. Let's see. Any other mentionable matches?
There was other matches?
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's it. For that.
Shout out to my brother. Shout out to my brother who just signed on.
What's
All
up,
right.
Kevin, brother?
So, his name's Bobby.
Brown?
No.
Bobby Grow?
OG Killer Bobby?
Yeah, OG Killer Bobby. Yep. He
Bobby
is from Park Heights. So,
oh, he ain't a killer. Man's an assassin. DC sniper type. An assassin. The killers.
All right.
Keep in mind, the killers are over east. The assassins are over west. The murderers are south side. We all trying to figure out what Uptown does.
Oh, North Side. You talking about like Hammond? They just share love and be one with one another.
They're biscuits and cookies to the neighbor's house.
Rainbow Coalition and Huns and Pink Flamingos.
Hated it.
I just want the record to show. I need the record to show that I am behaving in this TV.
Oh my God.
Uptown, like 2 naps and a
nap and 2 twists. I need you to stop, yo.
Let's say go around the world with it.
Listen, it's a compliment. Oh my Lord, Jesus. Courtney said, listen, it's a compliment to me. CeeLo Green and Rick Ross are very good looking men. That's my opinion.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, and Moderator says focus. Shout out to Brian Johnston, BJ. So you're not out in the community today. I guess you out hanging out with us, sir. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Somebody's car about to get repoed.
What?
I'm sitting in I'm set up, I'm looking at my living room window. Somebody's car about to get repoed. Oh, nope, they already got it. Never mind.
That was fast.
That was.
Hey, anyway,
brother. Yeah. BG said they financed the war.
Yo, my brother said Northside financed the war. I just said it, man. You see why that's my brother, right, yo? Now y'all see where I get it from? It's family trait, yo. This is DNA, bro. This is DNA.
Project Passing North. All
right, let's get into WrestleMania 15, gentlemen. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeats The Rock by pinfall, no disqualification match for the title formerly known as World Wrestling Federation Championship. This is also and the corporation was banned from ringside. Mankind as the special guest referee. Shane McMahon Shane McMahon versus X-Pac for the European Championship. I'm going on record. Any WrestleMania, and I didn't put it on the rest of them, but any WrestleMania Shane McMahon is in, other than the one when he blew his quad, I'm game. I'm game for Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, y'all.
Game? Oh, I bet.
I was confused at first, sir.
I'm game, not gay. Game.
The enunciation wasn't going well at first.
Game, not gay. Nothing wrong with the LGBT, HBCQ.
Whatever you decided to do is on you.
Society got nothing against you guys, but I was saying
just
game.
Saying. Where them fans at?
Speaking of which, I am now marketing those as well. So if you need a customized Black fan, I'll let you boy. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What do you mean only in Baltimore? I need you
to. Somebody car get repoed in 22.5 seconds.
Oh, the repo. Yeah. We don't play around here.
You know, I don't want your cars. I want your rims. Give me a Hellcat.
But sad true story though. Like I went to sleep one night, had my car in my driveway, woke up, it was gone. My kids is like, "Daddy, your car gone. Somebody stole your car." I was like, "Oh, okay." I knew that sucker got repoed. I knew they got repoed.
I'm laying down, I hit a truck. I had a tow truck beeping. I said, "Dad, look out the window. Who's that?" There's a tow truck out there taking a truck. I said, "I bet." He said, "It kind of look like an our truck, but I know it ain't." I said, "What?" Yeah, it look like our truck, but it ain't. So I go at the front door. I said, "Nigga, it is." I was outside, no shirt on, hooping shorts, no socks. Hey, get my truck.
Just hop in the bed of the truck.
Yeah, bro. Well, take me with this truck. Where we going?
Yo, Marquis said, "Hey, Shane McMahon puts on some damn good WrestleMania matches. But off topic, his match against Kurt Angle and King of the Ring was a yeah,
That's only because
it wasn't, bro.
on his head.
This is one of the matches we witnessed the death on television.
Yo, Vince McMahon, because I was it Mike Chioda was the referee, and they talked about that match, and Mike Chioda was like, Vince McMahon is screaming in his earpiece like, "Stop the match, stop the match." And every time he goes to tell Shane that your father want me to stop the match, he's like, "No, keep going." I was like, "Yo, Shane McMahon's a G. I salute you, Mister. I salute you, Shane."
Because the glass wouldn't break, bro. I'd have hit that glass in my own look. It's broke.
Yo, he didn't know.
God.
All right, so that's what those are my personal favorite matches from WrestleMania 14, which took place in 1998. What are your guys? And also, what are your opinion on my matches?
I'm gonna have to agree with your matches just because of the fact that I don't remember WrestleMania 15 that well.
I don't remember what.
I don't remember that well.
It wasn't super memorable.
I remember that well.
No. It's not a great WrestleMania match moment, but it is still a great moment in wrestling history. Where they decided to have the brawl for it all, that little boxing thing they used to want to do, and they was
that was the boxing with Bart Gunn, wasn't it?
And Bart Gunn
got knocked out by Butterbean.
That was this one.
They thought it was a good idea because Bart Gunn is legitimate. They gonna put him against a legitimate boxer, not the wrestlers that you was boxing before. You gonna go against a legitimate boxer and got your head rocked.
Yeah, you put Mayweather in the ring with Rampage.
Remember it was a smoking guns. After this was only one gun. There was no other gun.
He was a smoking gun and left out became a water pistol right after.
This dude ain't come back ever.
Yo, he wasn't even a super soaker, yo. He was a dollar store pistol.
Done. So you mean you lost a boxing match against the boxer? You didn't even want to wrestle no more. You said, "I'm done."
Yo, it wasn't even a cap gun. Matter of fact, it was a misfiring cap gun that took the paper caps, not even the plastic ones. It was a paper cap that just did not fire. Well, you had to take a rock. You had to take a rock on it to spark it.
Yo.
And not to mention the Undertaker match versus Big Boss Man when he had my man hanging from the Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, that was a great match. That was definitely a great match. I for some reason, a lot of the Big Boss Man matches, I just could not gravitate to him. And it was funny because he was an actual correctional officer from Georgia at one point.
I don't know if this was this year, or that year, or the year. No, I don't know if it was the year after that. What year was the Big Boss Man versus Big Show?
Oh, that was
the year after.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's the only thing about him that I truly, truly remember. Is when he took that man's father and he hooked it up to a truck and pulled off.
It wasn't a truck, it was a police car, yo.
A police car. Big Show jumped on the casket and was trying to hold on for dear life. That dude went rolling off of there.
So he gonna look in the camera talking about he gonna do some hard time.
He gonna do some hard time, boy. Flip the stick.
Yo.
Now that I'm down here in Georgia, that's who I assume the cops act like. That's all I think about. I'm going to Cobb County and I'm gonna see somebody like Big Boss Man.
All right.
And it's really gonna be,
so that was your honorable mention for the night.
That was my honorable mention. Yes.
So you got any, Dan? I know you said you really remember 15. All right, so we moving on to 16.
Move on. Yeah.
Because I don't remember any of the matches from 16. I looked it up. I was like, I don't remember none of these matches, yo.
Hey, yo, name the matches, bro. I can probably get a clue in. Name the matches.
Hold on, I gotta bring them up because I didn't even put them on my list, yo.
That's the only way I keep up with WrestleMania, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
WrestleMania 16. I was 16.
Oh, so you the ages of WrestleMania? That's crazy.
Yeah. That's why how old am I? WrestleMania 41. God damn.
Yeah, I have nothing for 16.
Yeah, I don't have anything. Even like I looked up WrestleMania 16 and I got WrestleMania 2000. It showed me the video. It's not even showing me WrestleMania 16. It showed me the video game. All right, here we go.
You mean to tell me Wikipedia forgot about WrestleMania 16?
It did, yo. It's look, this is what I got. It says, who fought at WrestleMania 16? The main event was a 4-way elimination match for the World Wrestling Federation Championship involving reigning champion Triple H, The Rock, Mick Foley, and Big Show, which Triple H won at the last eliminating The Rock. In the first time a heel won the main event at WrestleMania. I guess that was really the only highlight from WrestleMania 16.
Yeah, because he hit The Rock with the belt. I remember that when China came down.
Yeah. Yo, I guess that was only. That's sad, yo.
Yo, you gotta think about it. A lot of these WrestleManias didn't have a whole legitimate card till the Triple H era, where the whole card was enjoyable, except for the Bobby Lashley Street Profits match last year. I could have went to bed.
Yeah, that was.
If I wanted to hide in the seats, I'd have went to the bathroom.
They wasn't giving much to work with. Nobody cared about the Final Testament.
First of all, Marquise, you're diabolical, yo. He said, bro, not the casket, LOL. That was so messed up. I laughed way too hard. You was not supposed to laugh at that, yo. That is diabolical. That means you laughed at it as a child. Something's wrong.
Absolutely. Yo, you standing there, you crying at your daddy's funeral. Somebody pull up and put the chain on your daddy casket and drag it off.
I saw. All right, look, it's not funny, but what made it funny wasn't the fact it got dragged off, was the fact that Big Show was holding on to the casket and was trying to.
You big ass
Yo did the barrel roll like 4 times. And then laid there like, okay, all right, sir, get up now. All right, you ain't got to keep laying there.
He was hurt, yo.
Yeah. When you realize that you that big and had to got gator rolled by a casket, bro, you gonna lay there. you gonna lay there for a minute, try.
Now,
you gonna get on the camera cut off, bro.
You are.
I fell sometimes, and yes, I'm gonna stay down here for a little bit. I'm gonna look in the sky. I'm gonna do some taxes. I'm gonna check out my phone, whatever. And I'm gonna be there for a minute.
I feel like
no.
As a fat person, we can't just fall like everybody else.
Like, you gotta be dramatic,
right? Because first of all, and look, you skinny people, you can disagree with me all you want, but fat people fall in slow motion. All right.
Because we already know something. We already know what's gonna get hit. We already pre-planned how to hit. All right, if I twist, I'm gonna land on my ass.
Right.
I'm good.
And that's crazy. When we do fall, we do have enough time to look around and see if we can grab somebody, bro. You like, you watching like the Matrix, just be like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that. She said, "Big boss man feeding house no dog food." Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
Only to be topped by Roman Reigns years later.
Hey, Kev, you ever fall and brace yourself?
Yeah. No, actually, now I'm at the point I don't even brace myself no more. I just take the fall, yo. I don't watch wrestling so much. I know how to take a bump. Okay.
You either gonna stay down or you gonna pop up real fast, so nobody ain't phased.
Bro, I'm so into wrestling that when I fall, I've been waiting for somebody to tag out.
Yo, because one time, all right, when I used to work for FedEx Express.
Oh no, not Express, bro.
So
dirt.
They
slow motion for me. Slow motion for me.
In the facility, when they pour like the they call them cans. They like these little weird shaped thing that shapes to like the form of the plane, and they pull them off, and they put them onto the truck, and then we pull them off the truck. So this was a Saturday, so we were on a skeleton crew. So the carriers worked as the sorters. So my boss sent me into the can. The can has wheels on them. Has wheels on the floor, so you can pull the stuff out and put it on the belt. I lost my footing, and I landed back first because I was falling face first, and I managed to turn onto my back, tuck my neck, tuck my chin, and take that bump. And of course, it's a can, it's hollow, so you hear me hit it, and my boss comes running. He's like, "You good? You good?" I was like, "Yeah." All these years of watching wrestling actually paid off.
Bro, I fell recently putting the sofa in the back of the truck. I fell forward. I laid right under the truck and just lay there. And they're like, "Dan, you ain't gonna get up?" No, I'm just lay here, bro. I'm kind of embarrassed right now.
No, that's when you sit there and think about life decisions, yo. When you fall like that, that's when you think about life decisions.
So
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna eat a salad from now on.
Baltimore was notorious when I was living there for not shoveling or doing anything about snow and ice until hours later. So I'm coming to work. Matter of fact, kid, I was coming to Global, and I came out, and there was ice on the parking lot. I was stepping lightly. I had on my nice big puffy fatigue coat, and I had a juice. That juice fresh in a jar in my hand. I put it in my pocket. So I stepped off the curb to go to the car. Didn't know the black ice was still there. As I glided to the door, and I knew I was going to fall, I said, "Well, let me turn around, and I'm gonna fall on this hand because I got to use this one. Scrape this up a little bit, and came down on the glass. So now I'm thinking I'm dead because I didn't crush the glass. I heard it crack in my coat pocket. But this coat was made for fat guys, and this coat protected me, and not a nail piece of glass hit me. All the juice was still in my pocket with the broken glass. I called the work line and said, "I'll see y'all tomorrow. The day is over for me. I'm not going to work. It's a wrap. The day is finished. I will start again tomorrow."
As a big dude, you go to work after you fell. That fall is on your mind all day.
The day was over for me. It's a wrap.
No, it was one time I slipped on black ice at Global. This time I was getting off at night. And I really regret not laying there, y'all, because I would have got paid.
Yes, you would have. You should have. I straight laid down.
I should have just laid there. But nope, I crawled my ass into my Chevy Cruze. All right, so we are done with WrestleMania 15.
Yes, roll on. 16,
actually. And 16, because we don't remember 16 at all. And Wikipedia was like, that never existed. And so we are going to jump into WrestleMania 17.
And funny enough, my notes pick up from there. 16 we just skip all the way. They just
That's crazy. My notes pick up.
So
I'm quite sure everybody got Hulk Hogan versus Rock.
That's not 17.
That's what I said.
That's not 17.
Hold on.
No.
I thought that was.
No, that's 18.
It's 18, sir.
Oh, I hollered y'all at 18.
Okay. So 17. We got Stone Cold versus The Rock, I think part 2. In the main event with Austin shaking hands with Vince McMahon, which initially marked the end of the Attitude Era. Then we also had, this is one of my personal, oh my God, this will always go down as the greatest TLC match in history. Edge Christian versus the Dudley Boys versus the Hardy Boys. This was a TLC match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Dude, the match was already phenomenal. You had bodies everywhere. But that spear in midair.
Where Jeff Hardy should literally be dead at this point.
So, Edge let a secret out, of course, years later. Him and Jeff talked about that spot. And Edge is like, would it be cool if I try to spear you like while you're doing a moonsault or something? And Jeff told Edge, if you find a spot, take it. Take it. Him dangling from the belts were not playing. It was not playing. And when Edge saw it, he climbed to the ladder and he looked at Jeff, and Jeff was like, do it.
And Jeff should be dead. And y'all wonder why Jeff stayed. Y'all wonder why Jeff stayed drinking and getting high. He earned that. Let that man get high.
Yo, he couldn't feel it, yo.
One X-ray of Jeff Hardy, bro.
Yeah.
One whole body X-ray of Jeff Hardy.
Yo, shout out to Brandon. Shout out to my man Brandon, aka Michael Ford, jumping in, watching the show. We appreciate you, son. We are talking about some of the greatest WrestleMania moments from the Attitude Era, Ruthless, and PG era. Let us know in the chat and on our Spotify feed. What do you think? What are some of your most memorable matches from those eras of WrestleMania? So, like I said, that was that, and Marquise, I agree with you, sir. That is the greatest TLC match of all times. Everybody has tried to live up to the standard. We've had some great ones, but that's never will be another one like that.
Courtney says, I will never. Edge, not Edge. Was it the Dudley Boys supposed to be trying to fight the Hardy Boys one last time?
Yeah.
I saw a little rumor about that.
Yeah, but I don't think Devon's going to do it.
No.
And he is signed to a Legends contract with WWE, and then they got the TNA agreement. So we never know, but I don't think Devon's going to do it.
I don't think he can.
Courtney said, "I will never forget that spear. I jumped out of my seat, and I was like, what the."
Listen, I don't know how many times I went to Jeff Hardy down on television. That started becoming the norm.
Yo,
it's like watching Jackass.
They done speared him, fried him, ran him over,
threw him off the Titantron.
Threw him off the Tigertron.
Hey, yo, didn't CM Punk dunk alcohol on this man, bro?
Yeah, he did.
Yep. Forced that man back out of his sobriety.
It was supposed to be alcohol, but it was like water. But yeah,
I think his brother tried to hit him with a boat. Something when they did one of them cinema matches on the Hardy compound.
Yeah. Remember when Matt tried to blow Jeff up on his entrance show?
Set him on fire. We'll hit him with the Michael Jackson.
That was cold, bro.
I was like, all thing he needed was a Pepsi. Like, I swear to God, that's exactly what I thought about. I thought about the Michael Jackson. I was like, all he needed was a Pepsi.
I know Michael's probably in the hospital.
On his ice, bro. Stop, bro.
This is what I get for doing shit for you, mother.
Now when he burned his S curl. Burned his whole S curl right off.
With the glit. Speaking of Michael, they got a creative wrestler. I don't know how deep y'all are into 2K25, but somebody made a nice creative wrestler. I gotta go find the name. Because your finishing move was
Jackson creative character.
Yo, there's a dude that acts like a guy's on the independent scene and he wrestles as Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I seen it. It was doing the moonwalk.
I don't like, dude. So, my homeboy Brandon, aka Michael Ford, says 17 TLC match was epic because they truly trusted each other and the talent was organic. Today's TLC, he put mattresses, TLC mattresses. I feel, and I don't think that's a typo. I really feel like he meant to type in mattresses because they soft. I feel like they have just tried too hard to be Circus LA. I think he's trying to say Circus Soleil.
Nah, I would agree with him on certain points, but nothing compares. I know we got that ladder match with the Dudley Boys and the other two teams, but that side note,
teams, don't do that. Put some respect on them boys' names, yo. Edge and Christian and the Hardys. Don't do that.
And Miro and Brother Nero.
No, don't do that. To put some respect on no man's names, yo.
So,
you was like this at one point. You was rocking out with Matt.
I need him to get away from this thing, yo.
I was the only Mark Henry dude flipping off the generators in the backyard. So, but anyway, that ladder match between the ladies last year, where
EO and them, was it the Money in the Bank? Was it the Money in the Bank?
Money in the Bank. That gave me CLC to WrestleMania 17 vibes, bro. Because
they didn't take it easy. They went hard. They went at it.
People died that match. I ain't seen Zoe Starks the same since. She started wearing dresses.
Right. I think Sonya Deville got cut right after that.
Yeah. Stupid.
I need Zoe to get away from Shayna, though. I need her to step out of Shayna's shadow.
Any other matches from 17?
So who was on the card, bro?
No other match that's important. TLC is the match. That's it.
Okay. All right. So WrestleMania 18. I really only put one match on my list, and this is me personally. The Rock versus Hogan.
Absolutely.
That was, and the reason why that match was so epic for me, because they called it as the match happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't know who was going to be the face, who was going to be the heel. They let the fans decide as the match went on. And when I found that out, I thought that was awesome. And eventually, of course, The Rock came out as the heel, but he still saved face per se. But that iconic moment when they're standing in the middle of the ring and they're eye to eye, and you got one side chanting "Let's go Hogan" and the other side "Let's go Rocky," and as their heads went from left to right to look at the crowd, it switched, and when they look back again, it switched. Dude, at that point in my life of watching wrestling, I've never seen two men command a crowd the way they did.
Without even saying a word.
Without saying a word. I think Marquise is chiming in on 17 with the Stone Cold versus Scott Hall. No, that was 18.
That was 18.
That was 18. Okay. Yeah, Scott, because he said Scott Hall, not Razor. That's why I have to think about it. Scott Hall, you know what? Scott Hall was the only other person that can sell a stunner like The Rock, yo. Hands down.
Bro,
all right?
That back flip was epic, bro. That back was from the epic. You don't have to flip that hard on the stunner, bro.
No.
Yo, it's crazy.
That's with Carmelo. He like with a bounce. My match for that year, although I did appreciate the, before I found out Hulk Hogan was racist, I did appreciate the match. But my match for that year was Triple H versus Jericho because I was a big Triple H fan. I knew about the torn quad. He came back and then he was challenging Chris for the undisputed belts and actually won them because I didn't like Chris Jericho as a champion.
Which I was pissed.
It's okay. You'd be all right. I ain't like Chris Jericho. First of all, what pay-per-view was that Chris Jericho beat The Rock and Stone Cold at the same time?
I thought it was this one, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't even a WrestleMania. It was like a in the house type of pay-per-view. But it was a what? It was an in the house type of pay-per-view, but it wasn't called in the house. It was a B pay-per-view.
Oh, Danny said Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't like it. I ain't like it.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, and not to get too far off the subject, but I did like that Jericho became the undisputed champion because you got to understand something. Jericho. Oh no, he said it was Armageddon. Marquis says Armageddon. Yeah. So Jericho came from WCW. They didn't teach him the WWE way. He had to navigate these waters by himself and figure it out. And once he figured it out, he got the key to the kingdom. He said, I don't need you to teach me. I'm going to do this my way. And it worked. And then, let's be honest, we were tired at some point in time. We got tired of The Rock or Stone Cold being champion. We needed somebody new. And we needed somebody that the fans can actually get behind, either like or not like at the same time.
Let me ask you, if we weren't talking about this right now, they said list one of the greatest championship reigns and moments, would that have came up for you?
Yeah, it's one of my top 10s. No, hands down, one of my top 10 runs.
Because it's his run as a champion, as undisputed champion, is unrememberable.
I mean, in your opinion, but for me, it's not. Like I remember his run.
Jericho's run?
Yeah, as undisputed champion.
Who did he go against?
Thank you, sir. That's all I need to know.
See, Kevin, you just made the list.
Shut up, yo.
That's more memorable about Chris Jericho than that run.
I think his whole time he was talking about Stephanie McMahon's, Yadameen.
Thank you.
Talking about Yadameen.
Not saying Chris is not good.
I don't like the fact that they had a before and after picture of her wearing the same sweater.
You thought about Yadameen?
They swelled. They did swell. Yeah.
That's when you go from 2% milk to whole milk.
Moderator said you in timeout, yo.
I knew it was coming.
And that was a walk-by timeout. All right, she walked past.
Look at you a drive-by.
That was an Xbox achievement.
Timeout.
All right, so any more matches for 18?
Nope, not at all.
No, I ain't gonna lie to you. WrestleMania 19 looking a little blurred too, except for the last matches.
He said, Marquis said, nah, him turning the world, beating The Rock and Stone Cold was more memorable than his title reign. I disagree with you.
Like I said,
Kev, yo, Chris said, Kev, what's up with your dictation tonight? I don't know. I told you I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. Let me have it. All right, so we're moving past 18.
He been drinking. He been drinking.
I wish I've been drinking. WrestleMania 19, 2003. And just to let people know, we are in the Ruthless Aggression Era. So we are going over the Ruthless Aggression Era as of right now when we started back at 2000. When we started back at WrestleMania 18. So this one was the final match in the trilogy between The Rock and Stone Cold, which was Stone Cold's official last match as a full-time wrestler. Which for once in this last match, The Rock got over. Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels in that match. Huh?
Trash. You wildin'. You wildin'.
Yeah, thank you, Lord Danny. You wilding right now. That match was not trash.
It was a technical match.
Hey, I watched every WrestleMania.
Go to bed.
That match was not trash, yo.
You had
the past and the present of two of the best technical wrestlers, within that box, and they went to work. Now, I don't like that Jericho took the L, and then he took the L and then turned around and low blow your idol. Like, you lost to your idol, and this is how you repay it. This is how you
absolutely. Absolutely. If I've got to lose, you gotta lose.
Who hasn't turned on Bret Hart after beating him? Shawn Michaels. Look at Bret Hart.
Everybody turned on Shawn. Anybody closely connected to Shawn to turn on him.
Shawn Michaels was the original Roman Reigns. You got to turn on him to get no.
Either he turned it on them or they turned on him. Right. But let's talk about the greatest match of that night: Hulk Hogan versus Mr. McMahon in a street fight.
What? Come on, bro. Tighten up, man.
I like how your son in the background. Like, tighten up. Yo,
this was a great technical match, sir.
Yeah, they came on the all red and yellow. Thought he was hard.
No.
Yo, Marquis said that match was good because it took like 6 rock bottoms to put Stone Cold away. We're talking about the Rock Austin match.
Right. Oh yeah. The best match of that night had to be Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, absolutely. Wrestling wise, sure. If you want to look into that type of stuff, but if you want pure entertainment,
it was not. It was not an entertaining match, yo. And don't get me wrong. Like, you do need a wrestling match on the card for WrestleMania, but them two should not have been it. That should have been
Is that the one when he broke his neck, bro?
Which time, yo? He broke his neck. Like,
Brock Lesnar when he broke his neck with the moonsault.
Yeah, you got to do the moonsault at 285 pounds.
Was that WrestleMania? I thought that was another pay-per-view.
No, that was
WrestleMania.
That was WrestleMania? Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When I watch people like honestly damn near die in wrestling matches, I kind of blank it out because that shit is it's traumatizing.
But you know why this WrestleMania it stood out? Because of the disrespect that they did with Booker T. Booker T should have won that match against Triple H. But no, can't let the black guy beat Triple H. We're not going to do that.
All right.
And that's when the Swerve Strickland began. The race.
Yeah. That's when Swerve that's what Swerve to go back. Right. And go to
I didn't know. I didn't know if we was going to even touch on this because I did do a video, which is on our TikTok page, 2 Fat Guys Podcast 99. Go check it out.
Hey.
Where I talked about the whole situation between Booker T and Swerve Strickland, how Swerve Strickland was on VLAD TV, which is crazy. Like, I don't know why even black people still do that platform. Yeah, I said it and I meant it.
You mean why?
They keep thinking this man was a cop at one point.
And he plays people. That's why Marlon didn't do his show. It wasn't about the money. Like, Marlon asked for a fee. You was like, nah, you ain't worth that. I ain't worth doing your show. Point blank, period.
Which shows you how much you know. Anytime you said a Wayans ain't worth doing the show, you stupid.
Right. So I pretty much touched on how, because Booker T did an interview. Matter of fact, I think he did it on his podcast where he talked about how he did see Swerve and he approached them and they talked. And I feel like at some point in time, we got to stop saying that Booker T's polarizing. This is my opinion. So please understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is my personal opinion. This has nothing to do with Dan Jones or Najee, aka Dick Clark. This is my.
It depends on what you think.
And if y'all agree, y'all agree. If not, it's fine. All right. So I'm not, and like I said, go watch the video. That we can't say that racism never played a part in wrestling. We can't say that racism never played a part in any type of thing where black people try to get ahead.
Look at Lamar Jackson.
But Booker T is probably always going to be partial per se to, as Naeem likes to put it, clear people, because they were the ones that gave him his chance. When he came home from jail and he worked with his brother, I think it was like a construction job or something, and when they wanted to go to wrestling school, the owner, who was a clear person, gave them the money to go do that, and Booker T promised that, man, if they ever made it, we're going to pay you back. And they did. And he didn't even really want the money back. It was the fact that they stood on principle. When he was with WCW, and he went, and every time they had a major break, it was because of a clear person giving them the break. So, yeah, sometimes he may play towards that side, even with Hulk Hogan. And I think, I'm not going to say all of us, but a good portion of us, when he first said the N-word, we gave him a pass. Because we was like, well, that was I said some of us. I ain't say all of us. But Booker T was one of the ones that gave him a pass because he was like, yo, I know this dude. That's not his character. Then when it happened like 2 or 3 more times, Booker T was like, yeah, I can't help you no more, bro. You on your own. Like, I helped you once.
I called you one on live TV. You can have one back.
Right. So exactly. So, and then Mark Henry said the same thing at one point in time. That you can't blame racism for the lack of your work ethic. Ron Simmons, who was the first black world champion, who won that title right here in my town, Baltimore.
I'm there.
All right. Said the same thing. You can't blame everything on racism, especially in the wrestling business. Now, as I said before, there has been racism in the wrestling business. It has not been a secret, or it's always been one of the unknown taboos that Vince McMahon was slightly racist. But let's remember, under Vince McMahon regime, we did get Booker T as a champion. We did get not Ron Simmons. We did get Mark Henry as a champion. Bobby Lashley should have been a champion under Vince McMahon before he left. But when he came back, he made him a champion.
And there
we had Taz at one point.
Yeah, we even had. I don't even know what race Taz is.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Taz is African American and Bobcat.
And Bobcat. But Kev, to your point, and I had this long drawn out battle on the internet wrestling community in regards to this point about the racism thing. Yes, we know racism exists. And when we were younger, did we know it existed? No. As we're now older men, we got some sense with us and we've been through some life things. We know racism is there. However, I am not going to say tired, but I'm not going to ride behind somebody just saying, oh, it's racist over there in that company, so that's why I left. The people that you mentioned, the Bobby Lashleys, the Mark Henrys, I forgot who the other one that you said before that was somewhere in our era at the time, Ron Simmons, whoever. You have to make yourself so marketable, so undeniable that even if they are racist, they ain't got no choice but to put the belt on you. At this point, right now, there is not a male black wrestler in the E, because I'm going to just say the E. I don't know about what's going on in AEW, that I can say can be the face of the company and handle all the stuff that Roman had to handle for the last 4 or 5 years.
And I agree with you 100%.
You're not going to make me believe it. Which means to me that you got some work to do. Yes, you're athletic. Yes, you got skills. But you ain't marketable to that point where I can put my company on your back for years to come. You got to show me more than a flip. You got to show me more than some swag coming down to the ring. You got to show me more than a t-shirt. You got to give me a little bit more. You got to make people care so much about you, but they ain't got no choice but to put the title on you.
All right, so now we're going that route. Do you think that's the reason Montez Ford ain't get no solo push?
Montez, I felt like at one point you kind of saw glimmers of a push coming. and I think that they let him do a Hell in a Cell. Good outing in the Hell in a Cell, and then I think he got injured, and then they kind of had to pull back from that, and then Dawkins got injured. So I feel like he's anchored the Dawkins in a way. You won't have to break that up. Granted, I understand it's still y'all two trying to fight to get everything y'all can get out of it, but y'all gonna have to break that up.
No, and that's the thing. He said that, and if you watch one of the promos he did before Dawkins got 100% clear, he said it. He said, "No matter what, this my dog. I'm not abandoning him. I'm not turning my back on him."
And then you want to be right where you at.
So, but he also said that we have unfinished business, which means that we got to go get these tag titles again. We got to show people that the Street Profits still want the smoke, and he just
got the titles.
Right. So let them go on a run, and then we'll see what happens after that. But I don't think that's why he didn't get the push. And like you said, it was just really bad timing on the both of them. He got injured, then he got cleared, and then Dawkins got injured. And this is the second time Dawkins been injured. This was Montez's first injury.
I think Dawkins is a little bit older than Tez. So, he's a little bit more injury prone than Tez. But Tez is not going to, and I do believe Tez could be that guy that takes off. But then, as you and I, we watch NXT. He don't watch it as much. You got 3 dudes right now that can come up.
Oh, yeah.
And 4, including Carmelo, that's already there. That could be that dude eventually. Not right now. But you got something that's coming.
All right. So
I'm going to tell you right now, if Overfinny get hot and do what he's supposed to do.
Oh, absolutely. I don't even know if you watch Evolve. That might be a little bit too, not enough for you because it's on Tubi. But there's a dude on there that I can see in the next couple of years.
I know you're talking about.
I caught Evolve. I caught a couple of Evolves. I watched it on my phone. It's actually pretty good. So, all right, let's get back to the WrestleMania stuff. I'm glad that we touched on that for a second.
That might okay.
Yeah.
My bad. That goes for Jada Parker as well.
Absolutely.
Because that praise and worship.
You know what? Nope, not doing that. Not doing that.
I'll do it for you.
But while they screaming racism and there's not enough black athletes being represented, y'all just totally negated all the black women that has been grinding over the last 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
In the main rosters. Like how you screaming at, but y'all not acknowledging them?
Right.
Come on, yo.
And now you got 3 women on the main roster who has the biggest spotlight out of everybody.
3 black women.
I said 3 black women.
And Naomi been. Why everybody trying to hate on her? She been.
Right. All right.
Yeah, she been there.
I don't know why, but I didn't write anything down for WrestleMania 20.
Well,
wasn't that the Trish Stratus and Lita match?
We don't care.
Might have been. I don't remember.
I didn't even care for the real rivalry, let alone the nostalgia rivalry.
Why didn't you like the real the what? Why?
I mean, I like Lita when Lita was with the Hardys, and I kind of like Lita when she was Edge's hoe for the little bit of time that they was tied together. But other than that, I didn't going backwards and circling back to her and Trish. Yeah.
All right, so I pulled up the match card. It was 12 matches. I don't know why I didn't put this on here. That's crazy. Chris Benoit defeats Triple H and Shawn Michaels by submission. That was when Chris Benoit became the World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes. Okay, there we go.
All right, Eddie Guerrero. Guerrero. Oh no, hold on. Eddie Guerrero defeats Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship.
I remember the hug. Okay.
This is honorable mention. Honorable mention, not because of the match, but because of what happened after the match. Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. That match was absolute trash. But when Stone Cold stunned Brock Lesnar, he skipped backwards on his heel. That was the highlight of that match.
That's a damn shame. when your post video is more than your post credit scene is better than the movie.
Can we stay there for a second? Because I'm
Sure.
not gonna say that I didn't expect a lot out of the Gold. I expected way more than what I got out of Brock and Goldberg. I thought this was going to be the Hogan Rock type of situation. I thought this was going to tear the house down from a megastar perspective.
You can't because
I'm
you know
gonna
why?
give you my reason. I'm gonna give you my reason.
All right, go ahead. I apologize.
So when WCW tried to, they came up with the whole Goldberg thing. That was they do. That was they man. Other than Hogan, because Hogan, pretty much ran into the ground. Goldberg was they do. Then I felt like they created Stone Cold over here to combat the Goldberg thing over there. And then, Stone Cold's getting a little older. Now here comes Brock. Brock is now our Goldberg, which I don't know why, but that's what the other side of Rock with. Now you got the two fighting each other. This should have been a meat slapping. Got it in there for you people who like meat slapping. This should have been a meat slapping event. A slobber knocker in JR's voice, as you will. And it was not.
And
it was the driest, deadest, horrible,
Goldberg
horrible
ass.
ever.
Thank you.
Goldberg is ass.
You put Goldberg in a match against a wrestler. Okay,
hold on.
A wrestler.
I was getting to that point. This match took the blinders off my eyes when it came to Goldberg. Because between the money and scores.
Pause.
Hold on.
No, sir. That was the match.
Yes.
Not the match when Goldberg wrestled William Regal.
I didn't pay attention to that match. I call it a squash match. Everybody else's match is pretty much a squash match.
William Regal was so pissed at that match because it was supposed to be a squash match, but freaking Bischoff was like, no, he need to wrestle for 15 minutes.
I
Goldberg couldn't breathe past 6.
Right.
Couldn't breathe past 6.
Goldberg was my favorite, but Goldberg was in high regard in my mind.
Goldberg was entertaining to watch for the antics, for all that and the intro. Goldberg was good for pomp and circumstances. That was
spear, the jackhammer, the throwing people 300 pounds all over the place.
3 moves that he had. That was it.
So we got
that's all I needed to know.
At least John Cena had 5. At least John Cena had 5.
So wait,
how many moves did Brock have, sir?
We got the 2 moves on camera.
What are you talking about?
So you're telling me you've seen Brock have a technical wrestling match in his career?
I have seen Brock Lesnar have a technical wrestling match in his career.
Who the rest? You a lie, sir. You sir are a lie.
With the referee.
No. Brock Lesnar got suplex 2, suplex 3, suplex 4.
At the Vince McMahon finish with him, yes.
And an F5.
At the Vince McMahon finish with him, yes.
German suplex. Your mama suplex. Your mama suplex. Uppercut suplex. That suplex. This suplex. F5.
For a wrestling community that's big on somebody being good on the mic and having more than 5 moves, y'all love Stone Cold. Y'all love Brock. Y'all love Hogan. I'm confused.
So are you talking about Stone Cold or Austin? Because remember, the Ringmaster was a technical.
We're not talking about the Ringmaster. We're not talking about the Hollywood Blonde. We're not talking about the Ringmaster. We're talking about Stone Cold.
All right. So you're talking about the gimmick.
He's talking about the mud hole, stomping, Luthez, press, stunner, elbow, and that's it.
That's it.
But you're talking about the gimmick now. And you gotta remember, these are the pigeonholes that Vince McMahon put them in.
Okay, but I'm just saying, whoever put them there, they were there. They were the.
Ain't nobody put Goldberg there. He came in with 2 moves.
Yeah, he came in like that.
He came in with that way. Granted, yes.
The 3 moves.
And y'all tried to cash in on what Eric Bischoff did with him, and then you put him in here with Brock Lesnar, who ain't got too many other moves either. Case in point, Brock should have made him look good, but he did not. I'll give you another example: the Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley match. Brock should have made Lashley look good. He did not. Lashley had to do it for him.
You ever notice whenever Brock looked good in the match is because he wanted to work?
Yes, absolutely. And the problem with him I have is that you have the work ethic and the skill set to make people look good. It wasn't until you got to the end of this last few years with Roman and you allowed Roman to finally win one that you actually put somebody over. You actually made somebody look good.
This was the time he started getting embarrassed and realized he only had about 5 moves to fail.
Oh, damn. How we forget about this match, yo? The Rock and Sock Connection versus Evolution, a 3-on-2 tag match.
Because
it wasn't memorable.
You know how we forgot about it? Look at the title you just said, The Rock and Sock. Yes, we're not gonna remember.
Hey, don't disrespect the Rock and Sock, yo. Don't do that.
I come to realize that all these McMahon matches were gimmick matches.
Yeah,
the names made these teams look good, but the matches was actually a bunch of Goldberg matches.
Exactly.
That's why a lot of these WrestleManias are not really memorable. Bro.
And Marquis said
we just named about 8 WrestleManias, and we had 2 matches over each one, and yet nobody mentioned John Cena. And John Cena been in them since slavery started.
Oh, come on, yo! How we forget about Too Cool versus the world greatest tag team and the Basham Brothers and the APA and the Fatal 4-Way for the tag title.
What's wrong with your man, yo? What's wrong with your man?
All right, well, on a serious note, though, John Cena versus Big Show for the U.S. Championship. That was an opening match, and that was a good match. That was
it was decent.
I'm still waiting you to be serious, bro.
It was decent.
That was a decent match.
Be serious, bro. It was only good because what came out of it was the spinner belt. That's the only reason why it was good.
That was a decent match. Don't do that. John Cena wrestled that match. He got what's the name got knocked out by the thugonomics chain, whatever chain, the chain gang chain he was running at the time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. That comment I said about Brock. The only good thing that Brock ever did was F5 John Cena, halfway broke his neck, and John Cena came back as thugonomics, and therefore we had that run. So thank you, Brock, for that.
No, let's be honest. The best thing ever happened was Brock Lesnar came up with the Money in the Bank speaker.
Bro, no. Come on.
When he had the
come on.
That was
all right, come on. We gotta push through. We gotta push through. Come on. WrestleMania 21.
You just got finished talking about this bullshit ass match.
Look, we had to figure out what was the matches for 20. All right, we figured it out. All right, so we said Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero.
It was only 2
matches. All right, 21. Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels. Edge versus Christian versus Chris Benoit. What the hell? Oh, this is a Money in the Bank match. This is the first ever Money in the Bank match.
Yes.
That was okay.
The Canadian triple threat.
Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Christian, Kane, Shelton Benjamin. This is when Edge won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Edge wins this, and this one Edge cast in on John Cena down the line. And then we also have John Cena versus John Bradshaw Layfield, or some people call him JBL, for the WWE Championship.
Yeah. That's the retirement match for JBL.
No, his retirement match was against Rey Mysterio.
Yep. Okay.
It's even worse. You lost to a
midget. Get off topic because we're not going to. It's easy to get off topic when you talk about JBL and Rey Mysterio with the whole federale situation.
So he did it better with Eddie, yo. He did it better with Eddie because my man was like, I hate Mexicans, and I believed him. He said it was so much passion, yo. I was like, yo, JBL's really racist, yo.
Yo was really in the cars out here trying to get people.
Yo,
that joint was crazy.
Yo was in the dark, hanging around the Mexican-U.S. border, yo.
Yeah, Batista beating Triple H was the best match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
but it was predictable. You already knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, but yo,
that's what made it the best match.
We gotta it's kind of somber to say this, but we gotta do an honorable mention.
If you say something stupid, I'm
dead. No, dude, I'm dead A right now. It was Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie versus Rey. Yeah.
It was Eddie's last WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I didn't really know if I wanted to put this on the list because just thinking about it is messing with me. But we had to mention it. There's no way in the world that we not going to honor this man and the matches that him and Ray's been putting on since '97 at Halloween Havoc up until to his last match against him. I refuse to disrespect that man's honor and legacy like that. And I had to do an honorable mention. It's sad and painful to say, but yeah, this was Eddie's last WrestleMania. So we had to definitely do an honorable mention. I already know it was a great match because it's Eddie and Ray, and we wasn't gonna get nothing less than perfection from out of it. Huh?
That's the best. That shouldn't even be honorable mention. It should be that one, and the fact that Undertaker lost against Brock Lesnar was probably the most disappointing match ever.
You know what's crazy? Taker don't remember that match, yo. He was like,
of course you don't, because his body fell apart on him.
Oh, that's when he got the concussion.
Yeah.
You ever seen played the Lego game when you threw the Lego in the air and you broke apart?
So
that was Undertaker after the 5th F5. Your body, you said your hips gave out, you couldn't kick out.
So no, he was unconscious. He was legit unconscious.
He was out of there.
So here's the thing, and it's always going to be this weird controversy circling it. Taker said that Brock was supposed to break the streak. Heyman has said,
it would have been Roman.
No, it was supposed to have been Brock at that time. And Heyman has said several times it was not supposed to be Brock. But because he didn't kick out, they counted the 3. Because he was like, the referee saw he was unconscious and he counted the 3. And I know Paul Heyman is probably one of the best actors in wrestling. Like, he can sell his facial expressions and his emotions, how he reacts. He sells like no other. But
wait a minute, you and that my travel cheese,
right? But if you go back and watch that WrestleMania moment, Paul Heyman was legit shocked. Heyman was shocked.
I mean, think about it. He had them streaks. What? JFK got killed. He had that for the longest time.
Shut up, yo! Shut up!
Come on.
Stop, yo!
Yeah, that's for the longest, bro. I mean,
91.
He had it since 91. You know, I was 7, bro. 7. I was 7 when that streak first happened. I was 7 when that streak first happened.
And he lost it.
I was 7. Roman had the belt for your whole entire high school.
Half your life. Roman was champion.
Roman was champion.
All right, so come on. We got a couple more to get through. All right, WrestleMania. Where are we at, yo? WrestleMania 24.
22.
Who was on 24?
He was on 22.
Yeah, we on 22. The streak got broke. It wasn't that many matches on 24 either. That's crazy.
Yo, you gotta understand something, Lord Danny. Some of these WrestleManias we skipped, yo, because they said sucked ass.
What?
All right, WrestleMania 24. We had Undertaker versus Edge, Ric Flair, retirement match. Those was my top 2 from WrestleMania 24. And I stand on this at that time. No, hold on. No, because Undertaker didn't lose the streak at 20, yo.
He lost 30.
Yeah, it was 30. Because it was Edge. Edge was the one I thought that was going to beat the streak. Because he had so much heat behind him at the time. It just made absolute sense in that particular moment. And I thought
he wanted Edge to do it. Edge was like, he changed his mind.
Yeah, Edge did say he didn't want to do it. But
Edge wanted to do it. He wanted to give it to Punk. Punk said no.
Punk didn't deserve it. I don't give a damn with nobody. It was a great storyline between him and Punk, which we want to get into. But Punk didn't deserve that. I felt like Edge deserved it at the time, but at the same time, we already knew whoever beat the streak was going to become a permanent heel in your career. No matter what you do, no matter how many babies you kiss and handshakes you give on politicians, you will forever be the guy that broke Undertaker's streak. And we hate you and your family, and we hope your kids get Tourette's and Down syndrome. That's how wrestling fans was feeling.
Well, have you seen? Never mind.
I can't co-sign that. I ain't co-signing that one, sir. No, we're not doing that. After the babies.
And then
I'm about to take it there.
That would explain why Brock Lesnar's daughter looked like that. But
you know what, yo?
I
You know
just said
what?
I wasn't gonna
You
take
know
it
what?
there. I just said that I wasn't gonna take it there, bro.
I'm just saying.
Sable lost everything.
If you came from Sable and you still look like your daddy on a bad day,
but you no. That's not Sable's child. He had a son with Sable. That was the daughter he had from his previous relationship. Because remember when he left WWE, he was like, I want to spend more time with my kid. I want to be there with my daughter. That's from the previous relationship.
Okay.
Let me come out of Sable.
She was like, she can punch you in the face.
Yeah. With her face. She can hit you in the face with her face.
Okay, Ms. Voorhees, are you saying OMG to the comment that I made about Down syndrome Tourette babies?
Probably so.
That's WrestleMania.
Yeah, so Courtney said there was a couple different wrestlers that was supposed to be the ones to beat the streak, Undertaker's streak, and they said no, which is very understandable because like you don't want to be that guy. Brock Lesnar, I get it, he can carry that because he's Brock Lesnar. He doesn't give a damn about the fans. That's why he doesn't talk to people in public. He hates people, so it makes absolute sense. But
and who wants to talk to a dude walking around with a butcher apron on?
So then you got, as I said on mine, Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels, the retirement match.
That's enough said right there.
That was the highlight of the night.
Yo, how many boys put me in timeout, yo?
Because you said Tourette babies, bro.
Yeah, that was he was out of pocket for that.
No, I said Tourette Down syndrome babies.
And you're gonna repeat it again. Okay.
I don't wish that on anybody. First of all, foremost, let's be honest. I don't wish that on anybody. I would just
be honest.
I was speaking from a wrestling. I was speaking from a wrestling fan perspective because you know sometimes wrestling fans can be over the top with their emotions when it comes to certain people. All right,
if I'd have said that, the moderator would have put me in timeout. If you said it,
I don't think the moderator's watching right now. I don't think the moderator's watching.
Call bias.
Of course she's not.
If she is, she ain't saying nothing. She can hear me. She's in the other room. So, do y'all have anything to add?
She came through the phone. Timeout.
Do y'all have anything to say about WrestleMania 24?
It's not even. It's called Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. That's it.
What did he
say? We already talked about Floyd and Big Show.
No, we ain't talking about that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
What did he say to before you super kicked him?
I love you. I'm sorry.
I love you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm sorry.
Brutal. It wasn't hard. It was hard to watch, but it wasn't hard to watch. I'm like, sir, get this over with, man. Come on,
Courtney said I actually cried at that match between Rick and Shawn. I don't know if I cried, but I felt like a part of my childhood did die that day.
You saw the emotion from both of them, especially Ric Flair.
Yeah,
he's like, come on, just put me out of my misery so I can go.
It was really an old Yellow moment where he was just like, go ahead, pull the trigger, do what you got to do. I understand. Now, the aftermath of that, which we haven't really talked about any of the aftermath, but this one to me, we just got to mention real quick. The aftermath from that was when they had the whole send-off, and it was beautiful, and then Batista was like, Rick was my friend! You didn't have to do that!
Right. And then he tried to annihilate Shawn Michaels head to head.
And we got one of the worst beasts in wrestling history between them two. Like, oh my God. That's when you realize Batista really did need acting lessons, and he still do.
Right. Go somewhere and be on an Iron Fist movie somewhere.
You know what? Oh my Lord. All right, so we done with 24. 25, Undertaker defeats Shawn Michaels by pinfall. That was the first one. The first one. That was beautiful.
24, you might as well wrap up 24, 25, 26, and 27 all together, sir. Because it is the same people within that same block.
It is.
Remember the end of the era.
So you got 25, which is Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. Triple H defeats Randy Orton by pinfall. Triple H lost or got counted out. He will have lost the title. CM Punk versus Christian and Finley. This was the second Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, is this the back-to-back wins for CM Punk?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this was the second Money in the Bank match. It was CM Punk, Christian, Finley with Hornswoggle, Kane, Kofi Kingston, Mark Henry with Tony Atlas, and somebody that we know as Vontavious Porter, who is
MVP,
and Shelton Benjamin. I think this is the one that CM Punk won. So those was good. WrestleMania 26. We had The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels Part 2. This was the retirement match. We all agreed that this was a great match, but it did not hold a candle to the first one.
It was too fast.
Yeah. So that was really the only match in my opinion. That was the only match in my opinion off the card that was worth mentioning. If y'all have any for WrestleMania 26,
nope. The legacy, man. The legacy. The legacy.
Okay, Danny Jr. If you wanted to be on the show, then you should have asked to be on the show. This is why I say it's our opinion. If you have an opinion, sir, you should have shared it. Get in the comments. Type it up.
His opinion is like Donald Trump. It don't matter.
I was at work, so couldn't do it.
Oh, damn. Courtney said she couldn't stand MVP. He was a waste of space.
Hey. Ouch. Damn.
He's just mad because he was balling.
She said even when Rick was with Evolution, he still would give Shawn words of wisdom and genuinely cared about
him. You nothing. You kicked my chin in the back of my head. I ain't talking to you no more. We ain't friends.
All right, WrestleMania 26. I just touched on that, so we only want to talk about the Shawn Michaels Undertaker Part 2 match, which sent Shawn off. Then we get Undertaker versus Undertaker Triple H in 27, which was Part 1 of that one. Then we jump straight to 28 because nobody actually cared about anything else. We go to Part 2. This was a Hell in a Cell match.
Wait a minute. Wasn't these the matches with the Rock and Stone Cold?
No,
the Rock and Cena?
Yeah, this is 28. This is 28.
That's when Cena was about to be healed and he realized that we couldn't see him.
This was the Rock John Cena once in a lifetime match.
And his pride got in the way. We had to run it back.
Right. So that was 28. 29, we got Rock and Cena once in a lifetime Part 2. Undertaker versus CM Punk. This storyline leading up for this was awesome. Unfortunately, we lost Paul Bearer, but they ran with a great storyline. It got emotional, it got personal, and Undertaker wanted to kill Phil Brooks.
That's when he stole an urn, bro.
Yeah. But again, Punk was that dude at that point in time. He could play with anybody, and he made them look good. They made him look good, and man took the man's urn. Yo. You don't touch my urn, sir.
Yeah, because Undertaker was up there. He was so old as like the never ending story old, bro. He couldn't even move the way he wanted to.
But I also
made him look good.
But I also feel like it was a great way to pay homage to Paul Bearer. This was a great way to pay because you could have just did the in the memorial of and did the little vignette, and Undertaker could have said a few words about his best friend. But no, you did a match that was completely surrounded by someone who was deceased. I thought that was awesome. I thought it was a really smart idea from the creators. I don't know who came up with it, but I hope they got a raise.
And then we go to the next pay-per-view.
Right, WrestleMania 30. Daniel Bryan defeats Triple H for the WWE champion, for the world title.
That was WrestleMania.
No,
that was
back up. WrestleMania 30, he beat Triple H to be added to the triple threat match for the world title. And that was it. Oh, and Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker, which is when Undertaker got concussed beyond remember and lost.
We can't not name that. His Lord Voldemort, for I'm concerned.
WrestleMania 31. Oh my Lord, this was the heist of the century. This is
that was it.
No, back up. No. This is when Orton. This is when Orton,
the super RKO.
The super RKO from out of a curve stomp attempt, yo.
That was literally WrestleMania.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's what it was.
And that's when Seth showed up at the end of the night, cashed in his Money in the Bank, and to become champion.
Seth let you know that your downfall does not always have to be your downfall. How you fall is not how you get up.
I'm assuming there's some wisdom in there somewhere, but thank you, sir.
You gave God a high five and got RKO'd and came back at the end of the night, got yourself back together, and got you a championship. Sir, you the man. You the motivation right there.
All right. So I put these matches on here for myself for WrestleMania 32, which is Roman Reigns versus Triple H. In the singles match, which was it was honestly a trash match. Because that's when he was still doing his big dog thing, big dog in the yard thing. It was just stupid. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt in the Hell in a Cell. I did it because it was
Bray should have won that match.
Yeah, but I think Bray was also one of those people who's like, I don't want to lose to you. So I guess that's more of an honorable mention because of Bray Wyatt. WrestleMania, I'm jumping all the way to WrestleMania 34 because 33 was trash. It was 100% trash. That card from top to bottom was trash.
Wasn't that Kofi Mania?
No, 35 was Kofi Mania.
Oh, yeah. Was that memorable?
Yes.
Was Kofi Mania memorable?
Yes, you know damn good and well Kofi was.
It was Black History moment, sir. A little.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
So WrestleMania 34. I put AJ Styles versus Nakamura. That was a great match. And Charlotte versus Asuka. Great match. I just did not like that ending. How the hell you have her go from undefeated and then you realize both the people from Japan lost that night?
Yep.
The other one.
Shinsuke.
Oh, yeah.
Against AJ.
Now, this might be the moment where you say there might be some racism in wrestling.
You know what I mean?
You let both of your Japanese Money Bank winners
undefeated.
Royal Rumble winners. Undefeated. One was
both Royal Rumble winners. I'm sorry, I'm with you, bro.
Oh, you did. No,
I'm with you.
I was pissed.
Both Royal Rumble winners came from NXT to the main roster. Never caught an L. Busting heads all the way. You got the Oscar lock to the Shinsuke knockout kick. Whatever the damn kick is called.
Shinkaza.
Yeah, the Shinkaza. All right, you got them laying out bodies left and right. They get to WrestleMania. You got AJ and Shinsuke who has fought each other in the Japan Dome, so you know they was gonna throw down. We've been waiting on Charlotte and Asuka since day one. We get it, and you put the white people over. I ain't saying clear people. I'm saying white people.
It was bullshit.
I mean, if you think about it, that's what happened this year where all the black people lost at Elimination Chamber.
With the exception of Bianca.
There was no African American won that match. No one.
No, Bianca.
Bianca won.
Bianca won.
What pay-per-view was it with all of them lost, bro?
It was the one prior to that. It was in February. It was the one prior to that.
Because now I kept saying they would let us lose on Black History Month.
Right. All right, so what is this? So WrestleMania 35, Becky Lynch becomes 2-belt Becky. Who's going? Shane McMahon beats The Miz. Once again, Shane McMahon classic match.
He never got a clear coast to coast.
Seth Rollins defeats Brock Lesnar for the championship.
But let's kind of sit on that for a second, sir. That was better than I expected it was going to be. It opened the show, and I just knew Seth was going to get right, and it did not go that way.
No,
that was very impressive.
Yeah, well, you got to let that match go that way. Bro. You got to catch Seth Rollins or anything. Seth Rollins is old. He is this era CM Punk. We're gonna have to just give it to him, call it what it is.
Ooh,
so
what you felt?
I don't know about that, yo. WrestleMania.
I would kind of have to agree with that.
He's more. You can't call him Shawn Michaels. That was Dolph Ziggler. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Nick Minute.
I'm sorry.
Nick Minute.
Next show.
Why they called that man Dolph Ziggler? When I found out what his real last name was, I feel like I'm just stuttering over consonants. Nemeth.
Is that a name that sounds like it's gonna sell T-shirts?
It sounds like what is it? By Menon, like something by Nillen.
Yo, I haven't heard that in so long, bro.
WrestleMania 36. This is 2020. This was the COVID era. Like, it's part of the Ruthless Aggression, but this is, well, in my personal opinion, classified as COVID era because they had nobody, and they was in the performance center.
You might as well just say Roman like that from the next three.
That was.
Just say Roman all the way through.
That's when Drew McIntyre beat Brock Lesnar, became champion, and it meant absolutely nothing. It meant absolutely nothing, yo. Like, you won the biggest Royal Rumble of your career. You go
in the gym.
You no. The Royal Rumble was open.
It still had people.
Yeah, it still had people.
Before
you go to Scotland.
You
celebrate with your family, and you get a phone call from your job like, "Yeah, you need to get back to the States because your ass may not be able to get back in here." Like, yo. The thing that you worked your ass off for, the thing that you bust your tail for, was taken away from you because of a disease. So I understand. I
do have to appreciate the pandemic era.
I get it.
You gotta appreciate the pandemic matches because you actually have to now pay attention to the actual matches.
Yeah,
you ain't got nobody. You ain't got no crowd to rely on.
I just say like the noises in the back because there was like no dampening, so it was like like, yo.
It was hard to watch, bro. It was hard to watch.
How do you feel about the Barnyard match, though?
No, about that.
Oh, you need to calm down, son. So then you had Edge versus Randy.
Right? Don't you do it.
Yo,
is that when you doing the monkey bars things out in the back?
No, first of all, Edge versus Randy Orton. I think that was like Edge's like first official match back or something like that. Mm-hmm. And after the Rumble, before COVID shut everything down, that was a hell of a false count anywhere match, man. Like, I thought Randy would win.
Was that the greatest spectacle match, extravaganza match ever?
Mm-hmm. That's what they labeled it as.
When he lost on top of the truck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Stop, bro. Next match. Next match. They both didn't like that match. Which made you think I like that match. They ain't like that match.
And Danny Jr. touched on this from the sitting in the wastelands. Undertaker versus AJ Styles in the Boneyard match.
That was a great freaking cinema match. That was a good match. That should have been his last hurrah. That should have been it. That should have been what he died on.
It was his last match. That was technically his last match. Undertaker has not wrestled since.
I think he did have something else after that, didn't he?
No, that was it. He retired.
I'm almost positive he had something else after that, sir.
He has not wrestled. He's like appeared and did choke slams and stuff like that, but he has not wrestled since that match.
Are we 100% certain?
I'm full print certain.
I need either Brooke or Marquise because you guys do great on research. Please let me know if that's correct.
Who the hell is Brooke?
Voorhees?
I didn't know how government names it. You just said it.
It comes up on the screen, sir, when it pops up.
No, it literally props up whatever Voorhees.
Right. It says
it was. It was. It said right here.
It was his last match.
Yeah, that was the last official match.
Yeah,
the Boneyard match. It was the last one.
I don't know why something in my head keeps telling me Taker had another match afterwards.
Where's she at?
Yeah.
This is
wrong.
This guy's nuts.
So her name is pronounced Brooke? That's pronounced Brooke? Yes. I didn't know that. I thought it was some weird ass pronunciation. That's why I was calling Miss Voorhees.
So how would you say it, sir? What would you say?
Broquet is French. Broquet.
He said Broku. Yeah.
Broku? Almost like Roku? I don't fucking know. That's why I was calling Miss Voorhees, yo. Like, I didn't want to mispronounce her last name.
I can't fault you because you say to and do since I've known you. So I can't fault you for this. It's okay.
All right, look. I literally said the first time she popped up on the show, I said, ma'am, I cannot pronounce your first name. So welcome to the show, Miss Voorhees.
And I've been saying it this whole time, bro. Brooke.
No, I ain't never seen Brooke spelt like that before. All right, I'm used to saying it the white way. That was different. Okay?
It's French. It's French for bouquet.
For bouquet?
Bouquet.
Look, I didn't know if the B was silent, if the O was together. I didn't fucking know. I know
that. He sounded like Rick. He sounded like Rick Martel.
Where are we at? God damn, yo. All right, so
Right round.
I don't know.
all right, so we just gonna run through.
Everything's a blur until we get to 40, 39.
Look,
Yeah.
37. I'm about to combine 37 and 38. Bianca beats Sasha Banks at 38. Roman Reigns defeats Edge.
Hey,
Daniel
that's a
Bryan wins
historical
by
match.
pinfall.
You know
WrestleMania. And hold on,
It's
Roman
racism
Reigns.
right there. It's racism right there. You just skipped over the black match like it wasn't important.
Dude,
right. That was a historical match.
we are almost 2.5 hours in this show.
You're talking about 40 different WrestleManias, sir. I mean,
All right. Daniel, let's see. WrestleMania 38. Cody Raheem Rhodes defeats Seth freaking Rollins in his return match. His return match to WWE. Night 2. Hold my bad. Go back. Night 1 again. Bianca defeats Becky Lynch to become women's champion again. Night 2. RK Bro defeats Profits and the Alpha Academy by pinfall for the titles. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman defeats Brock Lesnar by pinfall for the WWE Championship, and that was WrestleMania 38. And now we are up to 39 and 40. We really don't have to get too deep into those two because we already know it was night 1. The tag team title match, which was awesome. Usos versus Sami and Kevin. That was good. That Samoan rules match was just called a damn no holds barred match. You ain't had to put a theme to that. You just could have said it was a no DQ match. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That was a weird echo.
Bloodline rules.
That was 39.
Bloodline rules.
Yeah, it was 39.
That was 39.
He's saying bloodline rules because that means his family members can get involved.
I'm still the best match that I've seen so far was Rhea Ripley.
No,
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but that was a good one too.
That was a great match.
That was great.
That should have been the last match, but we gave it to the greatest tag team ever, the Usos.
I'm still debating.
This is why you go to your room.
Kevin agreed with me. Mr. Kevin agreed with me though.
We the one, Mr. Kevin. Nothing.
We had a will. I was on the show about this one.
We go to your room.
I'm still hands down say New Day's the greatest tag team. I'm not taking nothing away from the Usos.
See, I ain't the only one. I ain't the only one. New Day rocks.
So what are they now?
I don't know about now. I do like the new
rocking on something.
That new theme song do rock, yo.
What?
That's about it. The tag team
evil unicorns flying around on they little Tigertron thing. It's like, yo, stop it.
Oh shit! Look. Miss Voorhees is like, what I do. It was like nothing. Telling Kevin how to say your name. So all this time, ma'am, I did not know that your first name, that how you have it on here, is pronounced Brooke. Because if you remember, when you first came onto the show as a guest, which we always love you for, I didn't know how to pronounce your first name. I called you Miss Voorhees because I didn't want to.
That is that Northern High School education.
No, but say what you thought it was going to sound like.
I'm sorry. Didn't you go to South? Didn't you go to Southern?
Remind us again what you thought the pronunciation
All right.
I knew what Brooke was,
but I never seen Brooke spelled like that before.
You don't hang around hood people.
You're right. Facebook acting up. So I'm on YouTube. Okay. So now she popping up on the Princess Fabulous. Okay. So I didn't know that your name was pronounced Brooke. Don't ask me why. I thought it was some weird pronunciation. So that's why I never attempted to pronounce it. I literally said
Broku.
I thought it was like Broku or Breek. Baruku? I don't know. So look, I never said I was the smartest guy in the room, but I ain't the dumbest.
Sound like Louis Kaiser.
So now I know. So now I know it's Brooke. Okay. I still might feel weird calling you Brooke, so I think I'm just gonna call you Miss Voorhees because that's what I'm used to. All right, so we have WrestleMania coming up, 41 in 2 weeks' time. we are going to do predictions next week. So this is going to be fun. And we are going to be talking about WrestleMania after it happens that following Saturday. And then she said, that's fine with me. Yeah, like as in Brooke, like I guess like with the E on the end of it. I don't know. But she said that's fine with me. I'm pretty sure that is fine. You know what? We're not gonna get into that.
Shame, know your name.
Nope, not gonna get into that. Because I know about you.
I will do it for you. I will do it for you.
I know about you. We're not gonna get into that. So we
got to invite her on the show.
We will not be here the 19th and the 20th because of WrestleMania is 2 nights, and we are not going to try to live stream and watch WrestleMania, which is probably going to be like a 5-hour event. On both nights.
You could have had a whole online WrestleMania party, sir.
Yeah, no, that's going to be too much, yo.
Mr. Cookie. Not doing this.
Mr. Cookie? That's why I tell people to call me Mr. Cookie. I think you left an S off there, man. I think you left an S off there because I'm not calling you Mr. I know you. That's just weird.
Yeah, I know
unless you want to tell me something.
Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know.
No, she never been to Atlanta. She good. So yeah, 19th and the 20th. 19th and the 20th, we're not going to be here because we will be watching WrestleMania, but we will be back that following Saturday, which will also mark the last show of our second season. So, with that being said, call me Cookie. Okay, don't call me Cookie. Courtney said call her Cookie. No, don't call me because I realized when I said it out loud, it was like, no, don't call me. Never mind. We moving on.
I got some cold milk in the fridge right now.
You know what? I'm gonna need you to pause, yo.
Are we talking Oreos, Chips Ahoy, Biscoff? What?
Shut up.
You take the Oreos and you twist it and they break apart and they open.
Gentlemen,
the Dollar General cookies.
Gentlemen.
I'm sorry. What?
As I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, we have, oh my Lord, so why are you guys going to do a Zoom so we can all see each other? We might be able to do that over the hiatus. We going to reach out to people. We'll see what we can do. Danny looking like, I don't know.
Let me go get my leopards out the trunk.
No.
The shenanigans coming.
All right, can we focus, please? We need to get out of here, yo. We need to get out of here. So, April 19th, EP's coming. It drops the same day as WrestleMania 41. I did not do that on purpose. I didn't realize what the date was until after the fact. I didn't. So, but the EP, the Collabs Volume 1 does drop on April 19th. It is going to be on every streaming platform: Spotify, Tidal, Apple, iTunes. Who the fuck are you blowing? Why you got me cursing?
What?
What the? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was reading the
I got them off top. Okay. You know what?
No, the message after that.
She said, sorry, I got off topic.
You'll see it.
Hold on. No!
I'm sorry. Am I missing something?
Just look at the screen, yo. Look at the last comment. I'm not putting that on the screen. Gonna get me all jacked up.
I'm not seeing. I can't. The comments is not coming up for me no more. Facebook wallet.
Oh, that's because she was on YouTube. That's why. All right, that's enough. All right. Sorry, Spotify listeners. I can't tell you what that said. That came through YouTube. That's why you couldn't see it.
I don't mind sharing birthday cake. It was my birthday in March. If anybody else was like some cake, would you guys like to eat some cake with me?
EP comes out April 19th.
Courtney, you want some cake?
I'm such a butthead, but I want to give y'all a little sample of what you might be able to hear. Well, not even what you might be able to hear, what you will hear on April 19th.
I'm losing my way, losing my mind in this silent fight, no smile to find.
Hey,
the whole thing, sir.
Huh?
That's a vibe.
Yeah, it was a vibe. Yep. Rose got a vibe. Now, these my boys called the Conglomerate. They are from Baltimore.
Face plunder the standard, 50 with malice. The silly 50 caliber rounds hit him in the palace. If any further discussion the rank, then we just move on to some progression. Roy Leno from Business Partners to cuss it.
Why it sound like
that's tough
local language? It sound like Smooth Hustle and Trigger the Gambler.
Nah, they Baltimore. Yeah, collabs April 19th on everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music.
I'm not used to Baltimore rappers.
Amazon Music, Tidal, Google, Gmail, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. It's gonna be everywhere.
I'm about to check that out. I like that.
Thank you.
You know, from us being in the cipher, you know, I'm not used to Baltimore rappers sounding that great.
Yeah, we had some clown ass rappers come through there.
I'm just being honest.
We did. Nah, these dudes, they Baltimore dudes. They Baltimore dudes. 2 from East, 1 from West. And they came together and formed a group called the Conglomerate, spelled with a K, not with a C. And yeah, here we are. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, it is time for us to go. I gotta go eat some leftover pizza because I'm hungry, and I gotta go to church in the morning. So this thing, I need you to scroll. There we go. So, gentlemen, once again, Big Nah, I thank you, sir, for coming through. Invite for next week. Let me know if you're available to be here for the predictions.
I'm booked now. Yes, sir. We in there.
I appreciate that. Anybody else that wants to come on the show next week, inboxes on our Facebook, or TikTok. We do a screening process. I'm letting you know that right now. Won't anybody just be let the fuck on the show? Excuse my language. Won't anybody just be let on the show? All right. So don't think that just because we give you your open invite, you just gonna show up and be stupid. That's not happening. So anybody want to come join for the predictions leading to WrestleMania, we are sending you an invite. So let's do this. Gentlemen, any parting words, sir, before we say goodnight and farewell?
You all have been appreciated for rocking with us these last 2 hours and some change. I know it's been a long show. Thank you for sticking in there and hanging in there. Appreciate you all. Thank you guys again for having me as always. And remember, cookie can never be too soggy. Just if it falls in the milk, just drink the milk. Have a good night.
Daniel Jones. No? You got nothing to say? You good?
I'm good, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us on. If you want to email us, you can email us at 2fatguys podcast 99@gmail.com. We are also on Facebook as 2 Fat Guys Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, 2 Fat Guys Podcast 99, and on Spotify as 2 Fat Guys Podcast. So come and check us out. We appreciate you. Please like, follow, subscribe. Tell your friends to tell your friends. Say it with me one time. That is 2 Fat Guys Podcast. Holla.